It's happy hour somewhere.
You're tuned in to the JANAE Latrice podcast. Let's talk about it.
Hey.
Let's talk about it.
Hey.
Let's talk about it.
I'm hype.
Let's talk about it.
Hey, I'm hype. I'm hype as shit today.
Outside, man.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the JANAE Latrice podcast, the happy hour of podcasts where young black creatives come together to discuss our worlds and take what we need. I am your host, performing artist, recording artist, and entrepreneur, JANAE Latrice. Very happy to be here.
Shut up. She said, y'all gonna clap for me, goddammit.
Another one. Stand to your feet, every one of you. And of course, listen, y'all, I am joined by y'all favorite people, my favorite people. First and foremost, Reppin' Philly by way of the Golden City is our very own Golden Butter. Give it up for artist and activist Holden Jones. And of course, our resident Renaissance man is here holding things down. Ladies and gentlemen, actor, writer, singer. Listen, the list truly goes on and on and on. Y'all give it up for my good friend, Jerome Scott.
Yeah. AKA your mama's favorite.
What?
Wow. I don't know.
That made
Your
me stop.
mama's favorite? That
You
was
just had to go to
so
the
straight.
extreme of mother.
Oh, and y'all already hear it. Y'all already hear it. Listen, today we are missing our favorite funny honey bunny. Shout out to Deloria. We miss you, mamas. But holding things down for the millennial mommies is a very special guest. That means very. Very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know her from the Shenanigans podcast, where she is the creator and host, but she's also an incredibly skilled actress, a bomb-ass poet, and I've actually had the pleasure of booking her to co-headline a few of my own concerts because she really is just that dope. As she's also, a mental health advocate, which is too lit, and an absolutely incredible mom to twins, Brian and Autumn. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Queen JANAN ASHTON.
Wagwan popcorn. You don't know that, nigga, huh?
It was the Wagwan. We already done been fooling. We already done been fooling.
Since I walked in thy door.
Okay.
There it is.
It feels great. It feels incredible. So, JANAN, welcome to the show. How you feeling, mama?
I'm feeling good.
I know that's
Feeling
right.
good.
Happy belated birthday to the twins.
My baby.
I just love them.
They old, yo.
Hey,
are
yo,
old.
get your life.
No,
They
no,
old.
no. Like, y'all remember when they used to be at
When they
Yeah.
wasn't here.
backstage.
Oh shit. Oh
Big
shit.
ones, the big ones. When I
He on one. He on one.
Like, I ain't want kids. But nah, they're great. They are great.
They just
are
had a birthday.
huge. They did.
How old did they turn?
They turned 7 July 28.
Wow.
7.
They are 4.
You got grown adults.
Yeah.
Hello, they need a job. They are 4-2 and 4-3,
My
respectfully.
goodness. Ooh.
Wow.
I had a little birthday party yesterday in the park, socially distanced, because we're all
Yay.
COVID scary.
I know that's right.
And they were so happy. We've had a lot going on
Yeah.
this last month, but they were
Yeah.
so happy.
I'm glad. That
We
makes
were
me
so
happy.
happy.
Shout out to Brian and Autumn. Happy belated birthday
They
from
wanted
the
to come
Twins
today.
podcast.
I said, absolutely the fuck not.
I was like, the twins gonna be with you? She said,
I said,
absolutely
absolutely
the
not.
fuck
Nah.
But in a way, they are.
Oh, yes, ladies and
Some
gentlemen.
other twins showed up.
Joined.
If you're not tuning in on YouTube, I recommend you do that so that you
My tits
can
be
get.
titting, okay?
Huh?
It's the actual twins that
The
we're in the
Right.
presence of. They're sitting up real nice.
She said, I ain't bring my babies, but my babies are here.
And I have consent. That's all I'm saying. I have adopted consent.
She does.
Okay.
Lord.
Tell us, JANAN, about the Shenanigans podcast, which is so lit. Tell us a little bit about
Man,
the premise.
listen.
Where can we catch it? What be going on?
All right, so boom. So the Shenanigans
So boom.
podcast, right? So I started last year during the beginning of the pandemonium that we're
Yeah.
kind of in but kind of out, but we about to go back
Child,
in
who
because the Delta
knows?
variant. We don't fucking know. But I started it, and honestly, I could say I started it to like get some fucking steam off. I was
Yeah.
stuck in a house with twins. I wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's really about, relationships. It's also about mental health awareness, just as Black people specifically, because I really feel like it is really pertinent to talk about our issues in our community, because nobody else is really talking about it, especially from a Black person's perspective. So yeah, I'm outside a little bit.
I love
the Shenanigans podcast.
That's the perfect name.
Cause listen, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't shit. I'm really not. Jim Moses can attest to it.
Jim Moses. Got it. Ain't no free promo on this motherfucker. Not giving that. He's gonna cut a check for that.
I'm gonna take a sip.
Dom DeMarco.
Where can we find the Shenanigans?
You can find it on Anchor. You can find it on Spotify, Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get Apple. You gotta teach me some things.
I got you, baby. I got you.
It's been some things going on. I had to take, because I am the mental health awareness person.
Come on.
I am a mental health first aider. And I'm also certified to teach across the country.
It's the certification for me.
You heard me. But I take breaks when it's too much going on, because I feel like we need to do that. We talk about hustle and bustle. We don't talk about rest. So I take a rest. So
it's giving everything that it had needed to give already.
That's it.
Hello. And listen, I'll be seeing you go live on Instagram. Is this the Shenanigans podcast?
Yes, it is the Shenanigans podcast.
So we can also catch it there.
Yes, you can follow me at You Don't Know Nan. That's YOUDNT.
Kev
not DONT. KNOW Nan.
You don't know Nan, like Trina.
Oh, that's right.
That is I.
That's what's up. Well, welcome. We are so excited to have you here. This is about to be hella fun. Before we get into it, because we got a couple of things that we need to talk about, and before we do that, I do want to hear from you, my babies, about your peak of the week. Okay, and keeping our loyal listeners just tuned in on what we're doing, how we're doing, right, and to even just remind ourselves of the positive things happening in our lives. Let's share anything at all that happened since the last time we gathered, or over the last 2 weeks, whatever that means for you. I'll happily get us started. Okay, since the last time we gathered, I found out that the month of July for me on Spotify alone, for my 2 projects that I have out, Back to Me and This Is Not a Test, I accumulated 4.7 thousand listeners.
Let's go.
I'm so excited about that.
Come on.
Yeah. Clap it up for that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And that's only Spotify, right? And my albums, my projects are out everywhere. And the reason that meant a lot to me, because I had just actually gotten back to listening to my project. Like, after I dropped it, I experienced a hardship, and like my relationship with the music and the projects itself, the first project anyway, changed. So I didn't even really promote it like right. I would have if, I was in a better headspace. Right. But July was that month where I just was like, all right, I'm gonna start running this. I'm gonna start playing my songs again. Like, fuck that. You spent all of this time, you invested all of this money creating this beautiful project from such an honest place. And it was almost like just a gentle reminder, to never stop encouraging myself forward, no matter what. So thank you to everybody for playing both projects. Holdy, share with us your peak of the week, baby.
Of the week.
Hey, yo.
So I met with one of my academic advisors. I'm going to speak into the microphone because I was told that I'm not loud enough. So I'm going to speak into the microphone. Jesus Christ, I will be hurt. Shit. Shout out to you, Kyle.
Hilarious.
Shout out to you, Kyle, if you listen to this
Thank you,
episode.
Kyle, for being a loyalist.
Thank
He
you,
got me together.
Kyle.
He got me
Kyle,
together.
thank you.
Yo.
He got me together. No, I met with an academic advisor this past week.
Yeah.
To enroll in school. So
Hey.
yeah, so I'm back.
Yeah, let's get it.
We in semester 3.
Hey.
So it's my peak of the week.
I know that's
Peak
right.
of the week.
Jerome,
What up?
what's up? What's the peak of the week for you?
All right, so check it out. I've been going through a little rough stuff going on lately, and
right.
I heard the word of the Lord say
Help us.
Can you get off
that
this
it's
microphone?
time
please?
for you to slow down.
It is yet Sunday.
Walk back just a little
What
bit.
is this giving right now?
So
I
I
don't know his
took myself on a few dates.
I know that's right.
Come on, Dave.
Right.
Oh, I'm here for that.
So
on, Dave.
I am really here for that. No, I am.
Yeah, like all the joking aside, like I kind of like detached from a lot. Like I just went dark. I just stopped talking, period. And I got really quiet, and I started spending more time with me. And a peak of that was last night. Last night I went out. Like I went out. I was in Northern Liberties by myself.
Oh.
And
Good.
I just kind of like went around places. Like I went into a bar / club. I'm not going to plug the name because I mean you ain't paying us.
Okay, we
Period.
need
So-
money over here. Shit.
Period.
So I went in there and I paid my cover and I actually like stood in a corner and like listened to the music, like listen to the DJ, like going, watching people, and I actually had a lot of like I was filled by that
That's
experience,
so
like just
excellent.
watching people and experiencing just people just out and looking at people and seeing people and enjoying themselves was actually helping me enjoy myself. It made me happy to see other people happy, and in that detachment, it was like I'm settled
Yeah.
in this. Like I'm cool. And it had me have more of an appreciation for what's going on in my life right now. And it gave me a little bit more direction as to where I want to go and do things, certain things I want to do in certain time that I want to accomplish certain things. So you'll hear a lot more about that in the upcoming weeks because now it's time to get moving on some things.
Right.
It is. We still holding you accountable to this album. And
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
not forgotten.
It's not just the album. So
Well, okay.
the album.
Okay.
What's in
Talk that
store?
talk.
What's
hey, we
in
got
store?
more.
Shout out to dating yourself. I think that
I love
alone
that.
will preach.
Mhm.
I
I
appreciate
love
and
that.
I don't
Legit.
really hear men saying
Right.
things like
Legit.
that.
Yeah,
Legit.
yeah.
Shout out
yeah.
to you
Legit.
for that.
I
I
love
love
that.
that. I meant to go to you next, Janine.
You
Tell us
did.
what your peak of the week was.
Wait, can I applaud Jerome for that?
Come
Because
on.
seriously, I always like we're enemies in public, but that's my dog for real.
Oh,
And like
word.
one thing that I always worry about is your mental health and what you're doing with yourself,
Yeah.
and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I
Thank
still
you.
hate you,
Yeah,
but
you know.
Yeah.
but you know that
Yeah.
really makes me happy. For
Yeah.
me,
That
it's
brings
been
me
really
joy.
rough. In full transparency, we had a flood in our unit.
Yeah.
Due to the negligence of my neighbor upstairs, and it completely flooded my entire unit where everything is gone.
I am so
But-
sorry to hear that, sis.
But, and
I
I'm
know
not
what
even
that shit is
sorry
like.
because honestly, we upgraded. We have a 2-bedroom.
Oh,
bathroom.
come on.
Now,
Come
come
on.
on with the
You know
upgrade.
what I'm saying? We have
Come
a
on.
2-bedroom. I have
Let's
my
go.
own bathroom where my kids don't bother me. You know, and you know, it's that we moved in yesterday.
Nice.
Wow.
You sent me the
That's
pictures.
awesome.
I was
Clap
like,
it.
I sent Janae a video. She was like, she sent me a whole 15-second.
yes, voice.
But you know, one thing that I can say, you know, I used to complain a lot, a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But what's the point of complaining when I
Hey.
know the blessings are going to be coming back in tenfold?
Y'all came
You
to
know,
have church
and,
tonight.
And you know, my mouth is potty, so God, please forgive me. But I really got to plug you in right now because, dog, shit was God, you know me, but shit was necessary.
Come on.
man.
Come on.
So like,
Stop, I
I'm just
can't.
really relieved. And you know, we had the birthday party yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a week late, but they really enjoyed themselves, and all they did was play outside.
Yeah.
All they did was
Kids are
run
so
around.
Be kids.
Yeah.
And they
kids.
came to me and said, you know, mommy, I had the best time. Can we have some more fun tomorrow?
Yeah.
And that was it. So I'm completed this week. I'm outside.
Yes.
Saying.
Shout out to you.
That
Shout out to all of
plucked
us.
my heartstring.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
did.
I
I'm like,
mean-
look
If
at
they pull your heartstring, come get
I
him and
gotta
babysit
talk.
Uncle Jerome.
Oh, she said love is an action.
I said,
It's a verb. What you gonna do?
we've discussed this. I would babysit.
Whenever
I don't
people
mind.
say
I'll pay 'em.
babysit, I start getting nervous. Like, but
Brian and Autumn independent child. They do
I will
everything. They
babysit.
cook.
It's not a problem.
Autumn can cook. She's
look,
the
she's
one
selling it right now.
Right,
Like,
right.
Kids can fend for themselves.
Market
All you
it.
gotta do is
Let me,
turn
Let me market this gig.
These babies.
That, all you gotta do is watch them. I'll pay you whatever you need.
Just look at them.
Take
Make sure they
them.
don't burn themselves.
Right. That's
Get
all
out that
I need.
toilet.
That's Brian. Get out that toilet.
Y'all are fucking clowns.
He'll have to tell Autumn, yo, Autumn. Autumn talks to Malum and he'll probably be like, yo, Autumn, I need space.
Yeah.
I need space.
Y'all are
I'll say it.
lads.
I don't mind.
And
Hey,
she'll be like, no.
It's the not respect the boundaries for me.
In all seriousness, I'm really, really excited that we each were able to, communicate our peaks of the week. I'm happy that everybody's doing well. you know, come what may, despite what fuck shit life may throw at us.
Child.
Everybody looks glowed up. Everybody looks
You
wonderful.
there?
We got a lot of shit to get into. Is everybody's glasses full?
Hell
Hey, yeah.
Listeners at home, fill your cup up because you know what it is. It's
Hell
happy
yeah.
hour.
I don't drink
That's
no
right.
more. Y'all got me big.
Even if
I'm
it's
about to be
8 o'clock in the
taking all
morning.
shit.
I don't give a fuck if it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Pour a mimosa and make it a double.
That's
Hey.
right.
All right.
With a shot of vodka.
Tell my boy.
I don't
No,
even
no, no.
drink that.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. It's time for us to get into this shit. Now, let's talk about it. Okay, so by now, I'm sure you all have heard about what's going on or what's been going on with, you know, this first story. So we just going to go ahead and get into it.
Let's
All
go.
right. Now, during this year's Rolling Loud concert in Miami, it was Rolling Loud, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
29-year-old rapper DaBaby made some comments that prompted a wave of backlash and was widely condemned by celebrities, including Elton John, Madonna, and even collaborator Dua Lipa. Now, in case you somehow missed it, I do want to roll the clip so that y'all can get into exactly what was said during this motherfucking concert.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas,
Lights up.
fellas, if you ain't sucking in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in
Let's
the
be
air.
real about this.
Yeah, keep it real.
Some of y'all suspect as a motherfucker. Let's be real.
That shit really makes me cringe.
That is
I'm not even
distasteful
gonna
as fuck.
lie. Since then, the rapper has been dropped from plenty of lineups. Lineups at Lollapalooza, the Governor's Ball, Austin City Limits Festival, Parklife Festival in the UK, Music Midtown, and Day in Vegas. And that's just all that I have. I'm not sure if there are any others that I left out. But social media has not stopped following the story. As of Monday, August 2nd, DaBaby has issued 2 public apologies to the communities that he offended. And since the most recent apology, 11 LGBTQIA plus organizations have penned open letters inviting DaBaby for some educational conversations surrounding HIV/AIDS in particular. Shout out to the Shade Room for following the hell out of this story, okay? All of the updates and facts that I shared did come directly from the Shade Room. So, you know, let's talk about it. The first thing I want to hear about is just your personal stance on what happened, what was said, what was done. Jerome, start us off.
Yeah, man, this is a crazy, interesting story. The baby, you know, the baby has been a subject of controversy for a while since him coming out as an art, like as an
Literally.
Has
since
he?
came out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I haven't been following his
as
career.
an artist, the baby is not, you know, immune to controversy. The baby has beat up
At
people
all.
and
Oh, yeah, I remember him punching a bitch in the face.
Shot people.
Yeah, baby, you know, allegedly. I'm not going to throw that out there, you know, when niggas go to prison. But the
Do we not? Yeah, I'm come on.
but
Tell me how you
all right.
feeling.
So I think one of the more the jarring part of that statement to me was the HIV statement. That to me showed it was an ignorance shown in that is very touchy to me, because that is not true. When he said it, he said, you know, HIV and any of those other diseases that you'll die in 2 to 3 weeks. And this is
Yikes.
not 1980 anymore.
84, excuse me.
You know, like we haven't, that is something that, and that's a community of people that have fought for a long time, not only to get advancements in the medical field, but to be accepted just generally in the
without
public,
stigma.
right? Without the stigma of being, you know, cast aside like they're lepers.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
and I think that to me is was probably the most damning thing that he said.
Yes. Exactly.
The other part, the secondary part about, you know, the sucking dick in the parking lot.
And women pussy smelling like water.
Okay. The women's pussy smelling like water thing is just, to me, the way I took that is just something that's said at concerts. Rap concerts, that it's said in songs.
Oh.
This is a.
The
I
ladies
haven't-
are
I
not. For
haven't
those of you
been
who are
to
not
it.
watching, the ladies are not happy.
You
They're
know,
not, and that's
haven't-
fine.
I haven't been
That's
to a
fine.
rap concert
But
in
rappers-
a long time.
It doesn't
I like
matter
rappers
if you
a lot,
haven't
actually.
been to a rap concert. You've heard artists reference their pussy
Yeah,
being like
women.
water. Women artists
not
and
men.
doesn't regardless. This is hip hop. We talking hip hop, and he said it at the beginning of a concert. At the
Comes
beginning of his
charismatic
set.
controversy.
So you basically are saying you weren't that mad at that.
I wasn't that mad at the pussy smelling like. If your pussy smell like water, put your hands up. Like that. That really, to me,
I mean, but that's not the point.
Don't actually do it though.
Oh.
But for those who are not watching,
Wait a minute.
Both
What
of them put their hands
But
up.
see, here's the thing. You got mad at me, and then when it got said,
Pokey,
you put
pokey
your hands
ass.
up.
That's not the point.
No,
That's
no,
not-
it is.
I'm letting
It
you
is.
make your point.
But-
I'm
but-
letting you speak.
What I for me, it's we've come a long way since, if you got $100 bill, put your hands up. If you got a $20 bill, put your hands up. We've come a long way because now your pussy got smell like water, and you're not sucking your homie dick in the parking lot. Like that is a long way.
I'm trying to figure
That's
out
a
where
long
you
shot.
stand.
I'm saying he said it just to say it, and I think we're pulling too much from those statements. I think we're assuming that he knew what he was. There was something underlying that he was trying. I think he was saying it as shock value.
Yes.
He did not weigh the weight of what would come afterwards.
I hate that I agree with you.
I don't think he thought about that. I think he literally went up there as the baby.
So you said
in the
to say
character
what,
as
though?
the
What if he said it for shock value and then what?
I think this is nothing. Those two comments to me were not that major. The major comment is the HIV/AIDS comment. That is the one that is like, wait a minute, you got to slow down.
To me, it speaks to a problematic mentality as opposed to focusing on specific comments.
Yes.
But Janine, weigh in. Where you stand with this?
Ma'am, so I want to preface this with my cousin died from complications of AIDS, and I don't play that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play when it comes to my family.
Yeah.
I felt like that was really misinforming. I felt like there was a really cisgendered toxicity. And I could throw the book at him, but at the same time, you too old to be misinformed.
I agree.
Like when HIV AIDS, the whole epidemic came out, it was the early 1980s. We've seen movies on HBO such as The Purple Heart. We've seen different things with Queen Latifah. That one movie, I forgot the
I like
the
that
title.
movie.
I loved it. She was so good.
I forgot the
Also,
name.
Philadelphia
Wendell
with
Pierce.
Denzel Washington.
Which is
amazing.
that's
amazing.
the one.
Can we get a clap?
Ooh, Philadelphia. We're not gonna wear this applause button out tonight. That's why we're
It's
not
been
gonna
going.
do it. That's what we
That
not
applause
gonna
has
do.
been going.
We're not wearing it out
But
tonight.
the one thing about Philadelphia, it checked his misogyny, number one.
Mm-hmm.
It checked his bias, number two. And it educated him in that moment when he passed away. The baby is 29 years old. So Holden and I both said he's 29. That's weird.
Grown as fuck.
Because he sounds like a child a lot.
Yeah.
My issue is, I mean, maybe I'm biased. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can fight me. I don't care. But like,
Wow.
run that shit up. Like, because
Shows
I've
violence.
gotten in. All
we
the
got
time.
Janine drunk before the show, y'all.
Y'all did. I liked it.
The girls are saying, "Come and fight me, bitch."
Pussy.
Girls is out.
3-on-1. Nigga, all
See?
fighting.
Like, but in all jokes aside, I hate y'all. But all jokes aside, we are too old to be spreading misinformation about things. To speak when we're not spoken to.
That part.
To speak before we're knowledgeable of something. Now, yes, there are still a lot of people that are misinformed about HIV and AIDS. Not dying from AIDS, because you don't die from AIDS. You die from the complication of
The
AIDS because it
complications.
breaks down your immune
Absolutely.
system. This is why we need to be educated as a people. My issue is this. I don't believe his apology. I think his publicist did that.
Yep.
I think
Of
it's a
course.
PR thing because he realizes, and all right,
That's the perfect.
I hate Jerome.
you
But
don't.
at the same
you don't
time,
actually hate.
If it wasn't clear.
at the
We hate each
same
other
time,
publicly.
we hate each other publicly, but that's my nigga in real life. So here's my issue. Lord forgive me. The baby spoke on a worldly perspective of an issue. Sir, we gotta properly name this man. Sir Elton John spoke. That is the most
love him.
flamboyant. I love him. He's most flamboyant activist in the
I love Elton
LGBTQIA
John.
community, period. But what we have to understand that Lollapalooza, Rolling Loud,
Come on.
whatever concert or incentive he was a part of. We have to understand that one demographic that supports these concerts the most is the LGBTQIA community.
Come on.
That are white, not black. Because we don't talk about the black LGBTQIA community. Shout out to us.
Important.
But this is money involved.
Come on. This
This is money involved.
Yes.
This is Madonna saying something now.
Yeah.
And she makes bank off the LGBTQ.
Yeah.
She vogued when Paris is falling.
Yes.
Come on and score the fucking people, Janelle.
Did it first. So because of that, now these people are coming forward and saying something. Now it's an issue. When we are talking about murdering black women, we are talking about raping black women, we were talking about, misogyny, misogynoir, if you want to be technical.
Never.
Come on
When
here.
it comes to protecting us, it ain't shit.
Nothing's
You know what I'm
ever
saying?
said.
Nothing's ever said. But when it comes to the LGBTQIA community, and I'm a part of it, but it's not about us.
In
because
particular to white.
I am not covered when it comes to this.
So how do you feel toward the baby?
He can eat my ass. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't.
Some people would
I
like that.
think that he is too old to be.
Well,
he
probably
would.
Don't invite me to a good time. He's like, let me meet. What's her ad again? You don't know Nan?
He said, let me slide
You
in
don't
the
know,
DMs.
man.
He gonna slide in my DM. He was like, damn, you pretty. I know, nigga. What's up? But
Take old
the
bitties.
tits okay. But at the same time, I don't feel sorry for him. Do I feel like this is a lesson? Yes, because you don't fuck with white money. They still control everything.
That's right. Them festivals don't have no face.
They don't have no face. And honestly, you too old to be not educated on certain things.
Absolutely.
Here's where I stand with the situation. Incredible point. Incredible points.
He's too fucking old.
I guess for me, and you know what? Thank you for sharing that, because I didn't even take my mind to the side. Well, I guess I did, but most of my energy when kind of just assessing this whole situation has been removed from the money aspect and more so focused on the character aspect, because you automatically inherit a responsibility as a public figure. That's number one. You do. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta tweet certain shit or you gotta post certain shit, but when you take the microphone at a concert festival during your set, there is some shit that you just don't do. Now, with that being said, I personally believe that the general public would have been more comfortable. There's certain players fuck up, right? Sometimes you say some shit that you shouldn't have said, and or do some shit you shouldn't have did. I think, and y'all weigh in and let me know how y'all feel, but I think people are generally more inclined to forgive the offense itself and to move past the offense itself, depending on the steps you take immediately after that. And this is where the baby fucked up at. And I feel like a lot of people in general, like, you know what I'm saying, especially when we come down to, I'm not going to say men, but especially when it comes down to like public figures and doing, it's about them things that you do directly after that speak to or appear to speak to your actual character and your actual level of integrity and how you actually feel. And I feel like he fucked up with the post on his story with Future song, My Savage, appearing unbothered eating. He actually wrote, these niggas really think they gonna influence people to stop fucking with the influence.
Wow.
He implied that Questlove wasn't important at all or influential because he doesn't know who Questlove is, apparently. Right. He alluded to the fact that or said he doesn't know. I don't even know this nigga. Like, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
You should have slid him.
And then he dropped it, given what it's supposed to give visual with the prison theme, you know, right behind Industry Baby and Lil Nas X. It was these moments directly after this major offense that, to me, let me know who you are. That let me know I can't fuck with you.
Big facts.
Fuck the bags that you fucking up. Yes, you deserve your name scratched off of every one of these lineups that's dropping you. You absolutely do, because you fucking up the money. So that in that regard, absolutely 100%. But deeper than that, on a larger scale, every artist that takes a public platform, especially black artists, you represent us, and this is some embarrassing shit, and I can't fuck with you.
Big facts.
Hold in, weigh in.
First of all, I want to know what the fuck is wrong with sucking a little dick in the parking lot. I want to know what the issue is. What's the issue with
That's
that?
your
Never sucked
twist.
dick
So,
in the parking lot.
here's
I
the
would
thing.
like
If
to
that's your
find out
twist,
what
then don't
it's
put your
like.
hand
But
up
no,
at the
here's my
concert.
thing. Here's my thing, right? So we gonna keep it a buck. We gonna keep it a buck.
I got my dick sucked in the parking lot.
That's what I'm saying. We gonna keep it a buck.
I'm not going to say that I may or may not have sucked a dick in a parking lot before and may or may not do that shit again. But the point is,
We
Well,
gonna keep it a buck. My thing is this: you at home, show of hands, who hasn't had the urge or actually done public sex, bathroom sex, any type of taboo sex,
bathroom
right?
sex
Sex-
back to the last
Said,
episode.
Like, you know what I
This is
mean?
the
Like, I'm like, why you not after a concert? You not feeling good? You don't want to get your dick sucked or suck a little dick? Like what? You feeling good for you getting
Yeah.
home? Just like a little something, something. I feel good. Anyway, that's that. Anyway,
so basically, don't be condemning
yeah,
people
I mean,
for getting dick sucked in the parking
Hey,
lot.
it wasn't even
hey,
about the
look.
gay thing with that. I was just like,
Yeah, I
anybody.
wasn't worried about
Yeah,
that.
it was like anybody.
Look.
What's wrong with sucking?
I
dick in the
didn't
parking lot?
think the community
Make sure,
should
just make sure your windows is tinted.
Look.
Yeah,
Or not. Fuck
I
it.
mean,
Hey, if
some
you
people
want
into
people to
voyeurism,
see,
if you
let 'em
being
see.
voyeuristic,
Hey,
cool,
shit.
whatever. But as for me and my house,
Tint the windows
yeah,
and
tint
mind your
that,
business.
tint the shit. I don't need a public. But
Crazy.
I mean that. But so I'm so serious. But
Hey,
anyway.
yo.
No, but so going back to some points that were raised, right?
Yeah.
Firstly, I'm going to backtrack chronologically. We just talked about business.
Yeah.
As an artist, I know in the older days, I don't know what record contracts look like now, but I know in the older days, your artist persona is actually a thing separate from you, which is why
Yeah.
some people can license that and say, hey, if you stop doing this, you can no longer own the name or the
For sure.
percentage
Facts.
of
Yep.
who you are, right? Which is why some people don't own the rights to their music, because all of those things become intellectual properties of, depending on the contract of the companies you work for,
Yeah.
the Sonys, the whatever. But also the people who endorse those, the concerts, the venues, the jewelry manufacturers, because a lot of times when artists or designers, a lot of times when artists come on the scene, the red carpet, whatever, that's not something they own for years or whatever, or bought. That's something that a designer created specifically for them to walk on the red carpet, or a piece. They say, hey, show this off, because people are going to say, what was that? Oh, that was dope as fuck. And they'll go to the Tiffany's or the whatever, Zales, whatever, and say, I want to buy that shit. That was dope as fuck, right?
Yeah.
So there's money. When we talk about money, that's what we're talking about, those endorsements. And we don't even know in the future how he's going to suffer, because we have to wait till the hip hop award, BET,
Absolutely.
we have to wait for those things to know who's going to say, you know what, you're going on a show now. I don't want to give you my jewelry. I don't want to give you my suit or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not designing an outfit for you.
Absolutely.
So we don't even know the full scope of that. But the point of that is saying, your personage as an artist, that is a business.
Absolutely.
So like, if you were Pepsi, if you were a CEO, or even a temp at Pepsi, right, Pepsi Cola, if you were to say such comments, they would quickly let you go.
Absolutely.
Because that fucks up the bag for the company.
Absolutely.
And it looks bad because there's other things involved.
And that's what's happening.
Right. So I want people to have that. I want people to have that perspective, is that as an artist, you do, because you're not. It's not just you. It's not you as the person. It's you as the entity and who you represent as well. Which is why a lot of people do not quickly take to speaking on social media or in public about a lot of things, because it's who you represent. It's not just you.
Absolutely.
That's just that. I do the point about the women. I do feel it was terrible.
Absolutely.
But I also feel like,
child.
but I also feel like that was a throwaway comment. I feel like the meat of what he wanted to say was the HIV statement.
Yes.
And also the game or men sucking dick in a parking lot comment.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the basis of it, but I feel like he had to throw the shit off, so he didn't want to see like a tirade. That really felt like
good
felt like the cream and or not the cream and Oreo cookie, but it felt like something in the middle just to throw it off to sweeten the deal, to make it seem like, oh, I'm just coming at everybody or whatever, to say whatever. That's
Very
my
good
personal.
observation.
That's my personal John. Could be wrong, but whatever. To the HIV John, there's a lot of stigma, right? There's a lot of fucking stigma. We talked about it, and many of us have lost, whether we know it or not, lost loved ones to
Yes.
complications from AIDS, right?
Yeah.
Over the decades, right? It was
Yes,
something that came out in the late 70s, early 80s, and was affecting folks who were intravenous drug users, and particularly the queer community, right?
Yes.
It is expanded to more than that, much
Yes.
more than that. It is not a LGBTQIA
Thank
disease.
you for that.
It's black,
It's not.
cisgendered,
It's a
straight
very
women.
big thing. But to that, we have come very far. So I do not want to police people's practices, right? But I do want to because it's not the conversation. I do want to let people know that it is not a death sentence anymore.
Yes.
So for those of you who are listening, it's not a death sentence. It has actually been demoted to a chronic illness. So a lot of agencies who cater to HIV AIDS communities now have to demote it from a life-threatening illness to a chronic illness, the same as diabetes or something else like that, because of ARTs, which are antiretroviral therapy, or ARVs, antiretrovirals, right? Those are drugs that people take on the daily to keep their health in check, right? To keep their levels low. And if you are positive, if someone is positive, that does not mean you cannot have children who will not be positive. Right. You can absolutely date someone or love someone and they can be positive.
Absolutely.
They won't pass it on to you. They will not pass it on to you, because if you've seen in your city, U equals U, that stands for undetectable equals untransmittable. That's a legit thing. You check with the CDC. But there's plenty of proof. I have a friend of mine who has been married for many years. They have 2 daughters.
Wow.
Both the wife and the 2 daughters are both negative, HIV negative, right? So both groups of folks.
Very good.
So I want to let folks who know who are negative, who are concerned about that, that there are lots of things now that people, people who are negative, you can take drugs, what's called PrEP and PEP. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis, and PEP is post exposure.
And they've been actually putting those out more.
They have. So those are drugs that were actually used for folks in the HIV community. So Truvada is one of the drugs that was used. So that was right. But there's some discrepancy with that, because Truvada they're seeing that is linked to some other health issues like kidney and liver damage.
There's another
some other things. There's another drug as well.
Popularized.
Yeah. Yes. But I do want to let people know that there are options outside of condoms to use for folks if you are negative and you happen to be involved sexually with someone who may or may not be positive. Or you may think of if you fall in love with somebody and you happen to be positive, it's okay to do that and know that you will not get it. That doesn't mean that you need to stigmatize folks, right? I think that's a valid conversation that we have to begin. This opens up a can of worms, because I do think that people who are negative have the right to not want to contract the disease.
Yeah,
they have the right to do that. But at the same time, to know that it's not a death sentence, and there's a lot of things that are out there. I think an education piece has to come in, but also don't stigmatize folks who are positive.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you don't. First of all, you don't know how they got it. You don't know how they got it. It could have been from birth or anything else like that. Some partner who didn't tell them, or was cheating on them, or whatever. There's a myriad of ways, right? And even if they were involved in promiscuity, that's not a reason to judge or condemn them.
That's
right?
Not anybody's
that's not your business, whatever. So I just wanted to say to put that education out there.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it with him. I tried to educate the man. I tagged the man myself to my story.
You did. I saw that.
You absolutely
I sure did. I said, listen,
I
got time.
I got
time. So good brother man, check my profile is open. Golden Butter is open. It's not a private profile. I tagged the baby to it so he can see my story. He can see my post. He can see what time it is with me. I'm a peace loving dude. Peace, love, hair grease, all that shit. But at the same time, what I'm serious about, I'm serious about. So we can have a discussion for the apology, and I'll end with this. For the apology, because he hunkered down so hard in the beginning about.
That's what I'm saying.
He hunkered so down. I said what I said.
That's what I'm saying. That immediate aftermath will fuck you
and
up.
So when
every time.
that publicist statement. Because he started off talking about, well, you got to talk nice to me. People who are nice enough to DM me and speak nicely to me about educating me, nigga. Nobody got to say nothing nice to you, because nobody asked you a fucking thing about any of these topics.
Exactly.
Big facts.
All you got to do is rap your fucking songs.
Okay.
Have a good time. Get the fuck off the stage.
Rap
Nobody asked you shit. You wasn't on Oprah. You wasn't on. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't on none of the shows where they said, "Well, how do you feel about the state of the HIV community?" Nobody asked you that shit.
Right.
You was on stage to perform. Perform, my nigga, and get off the stage.
But see,
that's it.
to that point, that's hilarious.
Y'all heard that bomb? Did you hear the bomb?
I'm here for it.
Let me, because I want to speak to that. To the aftermath, I do believe that the problem that a lot of artists run into, and this happens all the time, where they run into a situation where they say something, and the aftermath is what gets them in trouble. Like, that's the issue that gets them in trouble. Is the initial statement is the thing that sets everything off, but the aftermath is what causes all the backlash. And his aftermath is what causes all the backlash. For me, I feel like there's nothing wrong with an artist shutting the fuck up.
Okay, can we talk about this?
It's okay to shut the fuck up, even if you said something that was offensive.
T.I.,
It's
Boosie.
okay to shut the fuck up. You don't have to. And to T.I.,
I love it.
to Boosie, to those people, I love T.I.
Me too. Huge fan.
Huge fan of T.I. Huge fan of T.I. I know there are a lot of other things going on with him right now that I won't speak to, but I'm a huge fan of T.I., the rapper, and even the person to a degree. And
I love T.I. I'm not happy with the fuck shit that he did.
But yeah. Now here's the thing.
I'm not happy with that.
We
I'm
don't
just
have
not,
to.
period.
We don't have to say anything.
Right.
It will go away if you shut up.
How about I don't really fuck with that either though.
No, well, but here's the thing. I understand you don't fuck with it, but from a publicist standpoint,
I knew you were going
I think, and especially with men, like I feel like there's this like sometimes this energy of. Let me just let that settle, or let me just let the dust settle.
It's gonna go away.
How about checking your brother publicly? What the fuck? Why are you pulling up to support these dangerous comments that this man, violent ass comments that this man made? You can jump in at any point.
Yeah, you can jump in.
All right,
somebody call on me.
So when it comes
You can always jump in.
It's my turn. I was raising my hand for 10 minutes.
She's like, somebody
Teacher, you ain't called me
answer.
to
Shit.
God,
Somebody call on me.
don't do that.
No, bitch, ain't nobody calling on you at
All right,
the
so
table.
boom. Like when it comes to T.I. and people like Boosie and Pleasure P, these are
I need to be here with Pleasure P.
And the unnamed bowl, the unnamed rapper
Pleasure
bowl.
P was like, you ain't never
Pleasure
asked
P.
nobody at a concert if they ain't got HIV. put
So
your light in
Chris
the air.
Brown said
No.
this. He said all you had to say was, "Thank you for coming. Have a good night."
When Chris Brown is here's the
Now-
problem. When Chris Brown is the voice of reason.
Okay.
When Christopher Maurice Brown is the voice of
A
that
broken,
man name?
a
It
broken
is.
clock is
I
right
was a
twice a
fan.
day.
Yo, Chris Brown.
Even what's her name? Azalea Banks said the same
She
thing.
did. That's when.
Sometimes
And if
just shut
Azalea
up.
It was the
Banks
tweet.
One
It was
who
the
flew
tweet.
over the cuckoo's nest.
Stop! Don't talk
I'm
about
right.
her like that.
I'm
need
right
to.
with her though, so I can't say much. But
Azalea, pull up to the pot.
pull up, Azalea.
She's
but
dope though.
I really like her. She's such an artist.
That's going to be a time.
But my issue is this: like, there comes a like what Jerome was saying. There comes a time and a place where you just have to learn how to take the back burner.
You feel like
where
this is one of those
misogynoir kicks in.
You think
Where
this is
you
one of those moments?
I do. Because T.I., first of all, you have to fight the state of Georgia before you even say anything. Number one. Number two, you have your wife involved. Number three, Pleasure P.
Who's check? Pleasure P was clout chasing, but that's
He
my
was
opinion.
clout chasing, but in 2009, he had a case against him against a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old that he touched. You cannot say nothing. And he settled it out of court with a settlement.
Sit down.
So you cannot say anything. A settlement means what?
That's scary.
If it's, now,
That's
now,
not an indictment of guilt,
it's
but
not an
it
indictment
don't
of
look
guilt,
good.
but it's a settlement. It does not look good. So one thing, but at the same time, because I do protect black men first, it could be just to be like, you know what, leave me alone. And this gets off my record. I will say that.
I don't like the idea of encouraging black men to shut the fuck up when another black man has done some fuck shit.
Some
I
fuck
can't
ass
get
shit.
behind that. Just be quiet. It'll go away if you say nothing.
No.
I'm cool with the shut the fuck up notion as directed toward the baby. Sometimes it is great for an artist to just shut the fuck up, but I find it very problematic for to sit here and act like I endorse the idea of
Talking shit.
everybody just be quiet until this shit bro under the rug. No, somebody check that motherfucker. And what makes me sad is, and going back to your point, what makes me sad and frustrated is the motherfuckers that was checking him was out by and large, not 100%, but by and large outside of the black community. Then you have these black men pulling up endorsing this shit. That was heartbreaking.
But let me. Okay.
And instead, shut the fuck up.
So I get it. So
Nah.
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But notice what you just said. More of the people that were coming at the baby were outside of the black community, right? So I understand those black men who stood up and was like, "Hold up, all these people from outside the community."
That's not that wasn't their point.
No.
That wasn't their
You gotta
point.
understand, they're not going to pile on.
Why not? Why not?
But that's
that
not.
was
I'm not
really
going
wrong.
to pile on another black man. I can check him in private. But I'm not going to do this.
Endorse him in public.
But I'm not going to do this with all of y'all.
When it ruins your reputation at the same time.
I get that. I understand what you're saying, but this was not. I feel like that is not applicable to this. Okay. Nobody at any point in time pulled up and said, y'all ganging up on my man and we're not going to do that. Right. It wasn't giving that. Like, it was very much, y'all act like this is not a big deal. Y'all act like this nigga said some shit sideways. Well, he said, this has been going on in hip-hop for decades. Y'all need to relax. Right.
So
this was endorsements of this shit, and that's not okay.
But here's the thing with that. Those are two very legitimate arguments, because I think in the black because we saw this, we talked about when we talk about Bill Cosby. Right? Yeah. These are two things we have to talk about. In the black community, not gonna start. I know, but
no, you we're not going back. You missed that one. You missed that one.
But what I'm saying is that because we had in the black community, we do have a level of when others come outside to critique us. Yeah. There's a sense of protecting our own. We'll correct you in private. Let's do that versus doing it publicly. There's a level of that conversation. The other level of the conversation is what you just said, right? And like there was a situation. I'm not going to reference the situation, but what I'm saying is that when you see something wrong for us, we have to acknowledge wrong is wrong and right is right, regardless of color. And it's just like, if something is wrong, call a spade a spade. If something's done wrong publicly, you have to address it publicly, or keep your mouth shut about it. If you're not going to do that, then shut up. Period.
Right. Exactly. Shut up. Period.
But the idea is T.I. But T.I. didn't do that. T.I. said if Lil Nas X is a loose adaptation of what he said. He said if Lil Nas X can kick his shit in peace, why can't the baby? Which is not true, because Lil Nas X has not been able to kick his shit from both the queer and the straight community. He's got it from both. So that was a misinformed comment. Period. But that's what he said as far as protecting freedom of speech. But there are consequences for what you say.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Please speak.
On top of that, these are problematic ass black men, and honestly, truly, when it listen here,
speak. I want to hear what comes
these problematic shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. It's problematic. Y'all are problematic. Of course, you're going to sit here and say the bastard.
So T.I. Pleasure P. Just for the people that's
T.I. Boosie Pleasure P endorsed the bastard when it comes to a lot of the stuff that he was saying. Now, like, I'm a 31-year-old woman. I'm 2 years older than him, and it's not that far away. But it's just like, dog, y'all are. This is promoting toxicity. This is something that this goes back to the mental health. This goes back to what goes on in our homes, where education starts at home. Yeah. Before anything.
I am.
Google is free, ho. Google is free, ho.
And to your point, Jerome, because I agree with Holden, you do make a solid ass point. I would have been 100% fine with these gentlemen stepping up to their social media platforms to say, all right, the man made a mistake, but we not all going to just berate on him. We're not doing that. That's not what they did. They endorsed his motherfucking comments, and that's not cool. This shit was fucking out there. Like, how do you, and so many of them, how do you pull up and tell people to get off his back because what he said wasn't that bad? Are you insane? I'm not with that. And I would have also been fine with them not saying anything had that been their first line of defense, but not saying anything as opposed to defending him. If you have the heart to defend him and you just gonna be quiet until it sweeps under the rug, that's a different situation. And I want to challenge that. Like, I want to challenge every black man I know. When you see your brother doing some fuck shit, call his ass out, challenge him. Too often we see black men being like, "Listen, I'm gonna mind my business," and that shit is problematic. I don't fuck with that.
I think that's a broad brush. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, this is just from my personal experience.
I think black men and black women do it with each other. Like, they do the broad brush with each other, and we point each other out when we do it. It's like, I wish black men would do it, and then black men are like, well, I wish black women would say something when black women do something. And it's like, yeah, we both do it. Like, we're both at fault when it happens. So I think that's why I say it's a broad brush to just say black men do that. I think black men and black women
people are always talking about black women coming at each other's necks for any old thing.
And how catty we are.
Yeah, so I mean, from my experience, I more so see black women checking black women.
Being catty and checking them when something is wrong are two different things.
They are.
They're very two different
things. But sometimes they are interchangeable.
But to that point, I do think that there's a level of ways that we're socialized to deal with conflict, specifically with those who look like us.
That's a fair
right?
point. Yeah.
So I think women are socialized to have conversation about conflict with each other in a much different way, and even with us than we are with each other.
Yes.
So a lot of times we look at it like, how far can this go? Do I really want that smoke? I'm not really in the mood to do this with you. I'm gonna just leave it alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so because of that, we can watch somebody because I've seen this happen in public where I've seen young bulls on a train. One young bull try to talk to a girl. She'll say no, right? She'll calmly just say no, calmly. Mind her business. She won't give him eye contact. She'll just look in her phone because she knows giving you eye contact is inviting attention. So that's shit they got to do for it. They're like, I'm going to look at my phone. No, I'm good. I got a boyfriend, whatever. They said whatever. So he's like, well, fuck you then, bitch. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And go in on her, and the dudes around them, they won't say shit, and you can see the shame on their face.
Nah,
I'm not saying that's not a good point about both.
No,
I'm saying like it's a level of I don't want to fight.
True.
I'm not trying to box you. I'm not trying to mix. But it's just like that's not my fight. You got it. All right. If I say something to you, I'm just like, all right, bro, you drawing. And he said, no, fuck that. It's like, all right. And
now in my personal experience, that's more so when they're friends. In my personal experience, I've seen that, and I've stepped in. I've done that on a train.
Same.
I believe you.
On a train, y'all chill.
I've seen you do that.
Enough.
You are that type of person.
That's enough. Like, oh no. She said no. Like,
so shout out to you.
But
the generalization of it.
That's fair. I will accept that as fair.
You are not like a lot of
You're a different type of nigga.
Right.
You really are.
That's not a hard and fast rule against all men. Because I identify as a man as well. It's not because I know what I don't gotta whatever. But it's just I'm saying like I know what I contribute. Yeah. But I know at the same time I know what people who look like me do. Like, you know what I'm saying, and perpetuating that shit. And I just know that whether you gonna come at me with smoke or not, most of the times or not they don't. Because most guys don't want to go toe to toe with another man. So they might buck up a little bit, but if you show like I'm right there with you, they'll calm down a little bit. So for me as a queer person, I've had to reconcile that with myself. When I see men do shit, like we had a person who, I'm gonna be careful about what I say. We had a person at my job, right, who was trans, right, and they looked like a woman.
Yes.
We look like one, but it was known to certain staff members that this person was trans.
Yes.
So there was a staff member of mine who was making really transphobic comments, right? He, she, they, I don't know what to call them, da-da-da-da-da. And I had to check him in that moment, right? This is somebody who towers over me, da-da-da-da-da. Everybody respects him and loves him, da-da-da. But I had to check him like, no, bro, you got to watch what you say about this, right? So I think when you try to get with a guy, if you're a guy, you present as a guy, you identify as a guy, whatever. You get with another guy, just if you challenge them and you hold your ground, right? And they see like most of the time they'll be like, all right, yeah, you're right. I'm like, let me chill. Chill. I was even if I don't agree, like, all right, well, I was drawing, all right. And you know what I mean? I don't think there's a level that because like, most guys be like, oh well, if you giving me heat about this, I don't really hear all that. I don't want no smoke with you. I'm gonna just you got it. That's your business.
Yeah. No, I mean. This is one that, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
I loved it.
It was a Harlem Shake.
It takes me to a couple of different places. I never like to berate black men in particular ever. I really don't. I love y'all. I really love black men everywhere. Please know that. I just want y'all to do better sometimes. But we're going to shift gears a little bit. Yeah. We're going to shift gears from the men.
I will say his label ain't dropping.
Not yet.
They won't.
Not yet.
I don't
well,
think
he's a cash cow. He's a cash cow.
Wholeheartedly with the
he's
same
a cash
beat.
cow.
Listen, if Whitney, if they can watch, we talk about this. If they can watch Whitney drug herself to death and Michael Jackson drug himself to death, they don't look. As long as you make us money, it's the bottom line.
They ain't gonna drop.
That's all they care
the
about.
label's not gonna drop him.
That's a different
because
topic
he issued the label probably required that he issued that public apology.
So he's straight.
So he's straight with the label. Yeah.
But it's also when it comes to black entertainment.
Ciao.
That's a different segment for a different time.
Yeah. It is. Sure but that
so let's transition.
No.
Janelle said, whatever you want to do, we can do it, but let's move on.
It. That was funny. And I love it.
Because we're going to go in because we're all black creators at the end of the day, and we know exactly what this entails.
Yep.
Because if it was Lil Nas X he was coming at, nobody would give a fuck. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
See, we talked about Lil Nas X last time. We gotta have you back.
I love Lil Nas X.
We gotta have you back. We gotta have you back.
You
We only on the first topic, and I already know we gotta have you back. We gotta have you back. So we gonna shift. We gonna you know we went a little hard.
Pivot.
Come on, pivot.
Turn.
Went a little hard on the brothers. Went a little hard on the brothers.
Kickball.
Hey yo, they're clowns.
JANEE, you know the language, right?
Yeah, but
It's a dance. All right, y'all dancers, we get it. Y'all dance.
Thank you,
we
Dan.
Get it.
Point the foot or flex.
It's not point and or flex. It's not
It's
giving
one or the
and
other. They're
or.
opposite.
It is.
You're gonna have to point by and large. But anyway, we're moving on. Speaking of pointing your foot,
Flex that foot and modern.
You about to get on my nerves. You about to get on my nerves.
shout out the 2021 Summer Olympic Games. Y'all are ghetto.
I'm from Chestnut Hill.
And
Y'all are ghetto.
so what? And
I'm from Chestnut Hill.
shit.
She go at the 23 now. She from Chestnut Hill.
Right.
So in any event, the 2021 Summer Olympic Games have been going on since July 23rd, and they concluded as of yesterday. However, more than just a postponed year of competition has entered the headlines surrounding the games this year. Simone Biles, of course, we know representing gymnastics, and Sha'Carri Richardson, of course, we know representing track and field, have both received a fair share of praise and criticism during the games. Yeah. Richardson for testing positive for marijuana use after qualifying for the U.S. Women's 100-meter team, and Biles after withdrawing from the competition due to mental and physical health concerns. The two have sparked a very interesting narrative, with many black women expressing that they are exhausted, with being expected to carry burdens for larger groups of people, period. And even beyond that, what I think it's done is really just shine a light on the humanity of black women who are, in my personal opinion, always expected to just be okay. JANAN, weigh in with this. Where do you stand with it? If y'all could have seen, maybe y'all did see because we on YouTube, right? The way she just rolled her eyes, honey, she is not here. She is not here for the motherfucking bullshit.
I'm not. So I will preface with this. When it comes to, how do you pronounce her name? I do not like mispronouncing the name.
Sha'Carri?
Yes,
Sha'Carri?
Sha'Carri.
I'm going to go with Sha'Carri.
Sha'Carri.
No,
Sha'Carri.
yeah, I believe it's
Sha'Carri.
Okay.
Okay.
Sha'Carri.
Do I feel like she needed to be held accountable? Yes. But you don't come on live TV and give her an interview until her birth mother died and then expect her to be chilling. That's just because you wouldn't do this to Michael Phelps.
I was really, really irritated by this.
I was really irritated by it as well.
I get it. Rules are rules.
I do feel like rules are rules, but it's weed when they are monetizing.
Ooh, it was
monetizing.
It was a mix. It was a mix.
It was
It was a mix. I know what you're trying to say. It was the mix for me.
Got me drunk, and this is what you asked for.
She said monotonizing.
At least I articulated.
We're back.
Come on.
When they are monotonizing.
Don't do that.
Monotonize.
All right.
I like that. Monotonize. I like it.
Can y'all
like
stop trying to be serious?
No, I love it.
I'm sorry.
I fucked up words last week.
I'm going to
good.
monotonize.
That was hilarious. I love
Monetize.
That's a clip.
Monopolize and monetize. Come on, I know what you was trying to say. Come on.
That's it.
Here.
I heard it.
Got one nail up.
You know what I mean?
But when it comes, I'm trying to be in character and be serious.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to her, like, all right, what them two white bitches' names?
Stop.
It don't
Wow.
matter. It don't matter. It don't matter.
It don't
worry
matter.
about them.
It don't matter.
When
That needed a
they
bomb.
were with the soccer team.
Them two.
But they are promoting CBD and weed
Yep.
legally.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Sha'Carri,
Megan
it's just like,
Rapinoe is
oh
one of them.
no, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do that, nigga.
It was
Like,
the accent for me.
you heard it. But I'll try to be in character as much as possible. But I just feel like when it comes to, because I also have gotten into, I'm a little bit I push the envelope a lot. I really try not to argue because my anxiety gets in the way. But when you go low, I go fucking
Lower?
either
Hell.
medium or to hell.
Who said that? Somebody
It
said
was
that
me.
to me the other day.
It was me.
you today, but somebody
was.
said that to me the other
You
day.
go low, I go to hell.
Yeah, I
when
was
it comes
like,
to
damn.
black women, and I'm going to speak on mental health because I'm the mental health advocate.
Yeah.
When
Word.
it comes to black women and mental health, it's just like, bye, you angry. You still have to execute what X, Y, and Z. When it comes to Simone Biles and Sha'Carri, her fucking birth mother died.
Yeah.
How dare you tell me how that and I don't know her story.
Yeah.
I haven't dived too much into it.
Yeah.
Because I do believe she should be held accountable, but it's just like, all right, it's weed. It's not like it's cocaine. It's not like you found that in your system. You doing the motherfucking French Open and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weed.
Cocaine is out your system in
Cocaine is
24
out your system. Exactly. It is.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know. But
Jerome,
but
how
at
the
the
fuck
sa-
do you know that?
It's Jerome.
Janelle was talking.
It's Jerome.
Good
though.
save. Good save.
But-
Good answer. Good
but-
answer.
Wow. I like how you did
Family
that, Jerome.
Feud.
I love how you did that. You just put the heat back on me. How do I know? I
Hey,
looked it up. I'm a nerd, guys. So one thing I do when because I have not done cocaine ever, but one thing I do is research things. I had to put that
Even
out
if
there.
you did.
Your choice.
Wow. But you
Oh,
judge me.
I ain't look. I
But
gotta
at
have
the
that
same
picture
time, when it comes to black women, I will say black people because I do identify. It's just like, listen, as black women, we cannot make a mistake.
Yeah.
We cannot rest.
Yeah, I get it.
And when it comes to Simone Biles, I'll go to Simone Biles real quick. It wasn't Oksana Bayou. What was the bitch name?
You gotta
Which
stop
one?
calling these women
Who?
bitches.
They be
Jeanette?
alright.
Janine.
But they white.
You
They
talking
not
about a
us.
skater back in the day? Or
The
was it
skater
white bitch?
and also you heard
Nancy
the finger?
Kerrigan?
Who the white bitch that I'm like,
I'm saying no, but
Back in the 90s?
also
Who you
in the
talking about?
90s, the gymnast that broke her leg
Oh, Carrie Strug.
Carrie Strug.
Yes.
Yeah.
on the USA team, and it was the same thing. So when Simone Biles wants to take a mental health break, because if your mind is not good, then your body is not good.
Right.
And you take a stretch. Like, I've seen black men, the hoteps and even the non-hoteps, even the hood niggas been saying, like, nah, that was an excuse. What?
yeah, I've heard
You
that
have
too.
the expectation that we hold the world on our backs and we don't break?
Come on.
Like, that bothers me for both women.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Like, for me, on one hand, I gotta say, like, it's in general, just with the whole, like, a lot of the headlines that we've been seeing with the Olympics as of late, it's very exciting to see black women at the forefront.
Yeah.
And you know,
They have been this
I'm
entire Olympics.
excited.
They
I'm
run
excited.
fast as shit.
That's exciting. You know, but on the other hand, I have to say, like, on the other hand, please know, you know, that we have been juggling worlds and societies and holding shit down for many communities since before we were
Period.
trending.
Poor.
And so I think that it's an absolute perfect time for these women to be demonstrating their humanity.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As a hard ass reminder to everyone that we aren't just your cash cows. You know what I'm saying? And your workhorses. We aren't just that. But that we are people with struggles that matter.
Period.
So shout out to Simone Biles. Shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. Listen, you can pull up and roll up. You know what I'm saying? We can
I'm going to be right with you.
Pull up and
we
roll
can-
up.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I'll
At the
roll up. You know what I'm saying?
after
You pull up, I'll
party.
roll up. Jerome, weigh in. Or Holden. whoever.
As a like I was a former athlete.
You what?
I was a former athlete.
He was a track star.
You heard what the
remember
man
that?
said.
He was a runner.
You was a what?
Track star.
Don't play with me. I'll bring my medals and trophies in here.
Come on. It was the medals and the trophies
My
for
city's too
me.
big to run.
He said, "I'll bring my shit." Period, bitch.
But yeah, I
he
do
fast. He really
understand.
can
I,
No. I seen him. We did a race in the parking lot.
Oh,
And that nigga really could run. Like, he don't be on no bullshit.
I've seen him.
No, he really can run. Like, he
but
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but yeah, I understand that there are a lot of mental stressors that come with being in athletics. Period.
Yeah.
That aren't addressed often.
Right.
And what I
yes, you can speak to that. Because I don't know nothing about
Yeah,
that.
like there are pressures.
I don't run.
For example, I'll give you there are pressures in track to when you're on a team.
Yeah.
To meet certain times, because if you don't meet that certain time, somebody else is going to take your spot.
Yeah.
Like, you may have the spot as the go-to. For example, I was a go-to 200-meter runner. I was the 200-meter runner for my team.
You could have been an Olympian.
No, I couldn't. I was fast, but they be flying.
And I was about to say something. Anyway.
I was fast, but they be getting it. But there is pressure on you to not only keep your body in the right space, but keep your mind in the right space, so I can be prepared for this race. Same goes for gymnastics. I was not involved in gymnastics, but Simone Biles, like, she talked about this
Yeah.
quite at length, pretty much, and something she said in an ESPN interview, not necessarily an interview, but
The conversation.
the conversation that
Okay.
she had, and it's something that they drew from the conversation. Somebody else was speaking. They said after further medical evaluation, Simone Biles was withdrawn from the final individual all-around competition of Tokyo Olympic Games in order to focus on her mental health. We wholeheartedly support Simone's decision and applaud her bravery in prioritizing her well-being.
Absolutely.
And her courage shows yet again why she is a role model for many. Now, here's the thing about Simone Biles. Simone Biles is recognized almost unanimously as the greatest gymnast that the world has ever seen.
Yep.
She has various moves. There are different combinations that are named after her because she was the first person to do it and the only person to do it. So what she was suffering from in that during these particular Tokyo Games is she was suffering from something called the twisties. And the twisties is something that is similar to, the only thing I can relate it to for those just generally is like a concussion. It's not knowing where you're going to be at any particular time. If I'm flipping in the air, I don't know where to place myself. There are various videos that show her practicing her vaults and her not being able to place the floor in these vaults. So you have that going on with the mental aspect of dealing with that and the pressure of dealing with carrying a country on your back.
Exactly.
An expectation of being the greatest of all time. And now I have to take that on and possibly pull out because I can't physically do it.
Absolutely.
So I have the mental, and not only that, I mean, there are more examples of this as well. Naomi Osaka is a tennis player as well who withdrew from the French Open due to mental health
These
concerns.
black women ain't having it.
Same.
They ain't fucking having it, bro.
Same goes for
like, fuck this.
she didn't withdraw. She said, "I'm not doing interviews.
Right.
You're not talking to me."
They
and
gave
because
her
of that, they
hell.
said, "You know what? No, you can't be here because
she's
an
refusing to
obligation
press.
is to do press." And she said, "No, I'm not doing that. So I'll sit out." Thanks.
Yeah, period. Thanks.
Same things goes for the Olympics with her. She sat out of the Olympics because she said, mentally, I can't handle that. I think we have to be in a society where we are celebrating the discussion of mental health on such a grand scale. It's amazing to see the backlash that these women have received.
Man.
Good. Very good.
On the heels
Very
of a
good.
society that celebrates mental health, but when your mental health now compromises my bottom line,
Come on.
you must now perform for me because
Baby,
we
you
make no
talking
money
good right
when you're
now.
not showing up.
Absolutely.
So you have to forget your mental health
Nigga talking
in
good.
order to help the bottom line. But I'm saying as an athlete, they're saying as athletes, hey,
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
Yes. Period. The fuck.
I'm tired.
Okay.
Right.
Like to that point.
Ooh, Jerome started preaching.
Yeah, I was about to say, preach on
I was
it.
about to shout.
I mean,
Shit.
it is Sunday. It is
Sunday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Sunday.
You're annoying.
So this conversation is interesting because in the beginning of July, I sat at a brunch with two people who are track runners. They've been track runners since they've been in high school and college.
Right.
So Austin, my friend Austin,
Shout out to Austin.
Austin
get a
and
horn.
his best friend, we had a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Benita, we had a conversation. So there are several women at that time, July 1st, mind you. We talked about several women. Allison Felix, I'm sorry, because I wanted to have them as guests on the show for this very reason. Funny that this came up.
Yeah.
Because it was interesting, but thank God things happen the way they're supposed to. So Allison Felix, Alicia Montano, Sha'Carri Richardson, Sonia Richard Ross, and Francina McCoy, right? So these are black track runners, right?
Yes.
So I want to reference specifically Alicia Montano. So she sat in the seat because she's our age. She's about 35 in her mid-30s, right? For some of us.
Hold
And
on
so
now.
All right, bitch.
All right, you on your way.
All
You
right.
using your 30s, you on your
31.
way.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
it's a badge of pride.
I'm 34 and
You know
ain't
what I mean?
shit wrong with it.
All right, you know what I mean? It's you as young as how you feel.
Fuck you saying.
You know what I mean?
Fuck you
I ain't
saying.
old. Shit.
I'm
Fuck you
21.
Fuck
all
you
right,
saying.
all right. But all that noise. All right.
I still look at my 20s.
I'm 34.
So do
I'll be
I.
35
What you
next year.
trying
I
to
look
say?
Some of my
gooder than a
students know they smoke
motherfucker.
cigarettes. It's all right. Go ahead.
Oh, word. But
That shit personal.
I'm like, damn.
I
You
know.
trying to say I'm old?
Okay.
Damn.
All right, but no. So she's in her mid. She now has, I believe, 3 children. Right. So according to the New York Times, and this is a conversation we had. They turned me onto this because I'm not in the track world.
Yeah.
But they turned me onto this. So in the conversation we were talking about black women. I referenced all those women are women of color, specifically black women.
Yeah.
In the terms of the track world, what women experience. So Alicia Montano lost money through her contract with Nike because she was contracted through Nike.
Oh, this is great.
Right.
You're going to touch on some great points.
You know what I mean? She was
Don't
contracted.
he always?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She was
I know
contracted
where
through
you're
Nike,
gonna go.
right? A lot of sports folks get involved with Reebok, Adidas, Nike.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
They give them endorsements, or whatever. It's for their apparel, and that works out for them for dividends and et cetera.
Yeah.
But so a lot of women, because they are women, when you guys carry babies.
Yep.
So when you become pregnant, people lose endorsements or portions of their endorsements due to the fact that you're pregnant.
Yep.
So Alicia Montano was famous because she ran track while she was pregnant. She's known as one of the women who ran track while she was pregnant, right? I believe she was like 8 months pregnant.
Juggling worlds and
Juggling
motherfucking
worlds.
society.
Right, so when she returned from maternity leave, so that's the maternity leave is a different conversation. When she returned from maternity leave, Nike was not, as a result of her becoming pregnant, Nike docked her down, I believe, to 40% or less of what the contract was or what they wanted to pay her because she was pregnant. And it wasn't even because of performance, which is a whole other issue, right? But it was because of the fact that they're trying to sell things to young girls and that what messages they sell, they endorse them, whatever. But there's a lot of things that women have to deal with, black women have to deal with, which black women speak up about a lot of shit. I'm not saying white women don't or any other women don't, but black women speak up when something is the fuck off. So I'm going to read you a small excerpt from the New York Times. This is from Alicia Montano.
Yeah.
So it says, they told stories we athletes know are true, but have been too scared to tell publicly. If we have children, we risk pay cuts from our sponsors during pregnancy and afterwards. It's one example of a sports industry where the rules are still mostly made for and by men. So she said, I felt pressure to return to form as soon as possible after the birth of my daughter in November 2018, even though I ultimately had to undergo an emergency C-section at 32 weeks because of severe preeclampsia that threatened the lives of me and my baby. Right? So this is something, that's a small excerpt. Please read it, Google it. If you just Google the names, those things, that was from the New York Times.
What's the name we need to Google?
For that one is Alicia Montano,
Oh, yes.
ALLYSIA Montano.
Okay.
And then that was in the New York Times. The Washington Post has a similar article, not about an endorsement, but about similar thing for Allison Felix, who's also a black track winner.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
she
Speak on that.
She experienced complications during her pregnancy while she was still running. Right. And she felt that because she was black, she would have access, and she was an athlete. She was getting all these endorsements and money, or whatever. She thought she would have access to the best care, all these different things. And the reality is it wasn't. So she actually sent before a council of folks to talk about why the fact that women, specifically black women, even when they're in positions where they feel like they were afforded certain things, were not given the same opportunities or care or whatever that others are.
Come on here.
But so my point is saying that now. Please, I want to pass it to a woman.
Nah, come on.
Yeah.
But the point of me saying that
I'm
is
going to
that
give a shout out before we pass it. But
so the point of me saying that is that drugs in sports industries is not a new thing. That's an old system, right? So I referenced Austin and Benita, my friends who I had brunch with, because they've been track runners and they actually hold records for their divisions.
Come on here,
right, to
records.
this day. Right, in track.
that's why I said I wasn't going to
easy
the
to Google,
Olympics.
but it's but my thing is this. So we know that whether it's baseball, football, steroids or drugs. Steroids or drugs. So I remember the thing a long time ago, the Tour de France with who was it?
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
He's strong.
He
Shit,
was
we
not
don't
the
like.
only one. He was not the only one.
do it.
He was not.
He
So
was not.
so talking.
Of course not.
If you talk to an athlete, they will tell you to perform at peak performance every single time is impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Just like with vocalists, when you see an artist who is touring, I'm not going to say nothing about Beyonce, but what I will say is that, because we talked about Chris Brown, which is why I said I'm praying for Chris Brown, and I hope folks start praying for him too. We see folks perform constantly. Yeah. And it's very visible that they're using something to enhance.
Even
they're not okay, but they're enhancing stuff to make sure that when they touch the screen, they're keeping up that image. It's not easy to perform day after day after day after day.
No,
whether you're a singer, an actor, a dancer,
very great
a sport, an athlete, whatever. It's
Excellent
not easy
point.
to do that. So if your best time was this, to replicate that when your muscles are sore and the altitude is different and this and that, a lot of people do take steroids or drugs. It's not an uncommon thing. So to penalize some but not all seems very selective, and it seems subjective, which is why the conversation is not about the thing itself. It's about who gets caught doing it and the public's perception around it. Which is a comment we talked about last time about comedians. When we talk about, the comedian raised a point about people are more offended about the joke itself than the subject behind the joke is made about. So go ahead, please. I'm done.
Real quick,
Real
quick, Janane, before
Take
you
your
come
shout
in with
out.
something serious.
Go ahead.
On the heels of Allison Felix was dropped by Nike. Allison Felix also has started her own clothing brand. And as of Saturday, Allison Felix has accumulated her 10th medal.
Come on here.
Over 4 to 5 Olympic Games. She has just recently she was a part of the 4x400 relay team. And she received gold in that. She also received the bronze medal in the 400 this previous Olympics. I mean, this past Olympics. So I want to give a shout out. She actually tied Carl Lewis for having the most medals.
Wow. Go ahead,
so
shorty. He said we gonna mention this.
Not only has Allison Felix transcended those boundaries, but she's also made history in the process. So I want to give a shout out to Allison Felix for being that standard in track and field while dealing with so much adversity at the same time.
Shout out to Allison Felix. Shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson, Simone Biles,
Sonia Richard Ross, Francina McCoy.
Yeah, come on, run them.
Shout out to her.
Black women in track.
She had the 400,
Shout out to Black women in sports right now, period. We love you here at the JANEE Latrice podcast. Take all the time that you need. Take all the motherfucking time that you need to invest in your mental health, because that's important. And listen, the world better get used to like Black women putting themselves first. It's okay. Everybody else takes moments to put themselves first. I'm proud of these ladies. Honestly, I'm even proud of Sha'Carri for sparking. I'm just proud because at the end of the day, she needed to do what she needed to do.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. She understood the consequences, but I'm not mad at it.
And she definitely, she tweeted, I'm human. And I get it. She was dealing with a lot. And I get it. At the end of the day, my prayer is that nothing in particular really slows for her. Like I want
Sports Take. She's gonna be better at it next year. It's better for her next year.
What you got to say?
So as an actor, I know that Jerome and I have been in productions where we are like,
together.
We gotta take a shot. Like, because we are method actors at the end of the day. So because we are method actors, like, absolutely not. We're not doing this to ourselves. We're not hurting ourselves. We're going to have to numb ourselves to a point.
Yeah.
Is that healthy? No. I will say that.
Really?
But at the same time,
It's not.
I pretty much take a shot before I do any motherfucking thing.
I can imagine what endurance it takes as an actor, as an artist to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. As an athlete, it's like,
as an athlete, it's different. I ain't no athlete. My titties too big to run fast.
They definitely big,
Come
sis.
on.
They
big old bitty.
I love them. I'm just gonna go ahead and exercise.
Look at
my
them.
consent.
She's been blessed.
They're really beautiful.
Right. Listen, I put
Kev, zoom in on the titties. All right.
Wait,
Zoom in on the breasts.
No, don't do that.
He's zooming.
There's an abundance.
But at the same time, if I can imagine what I go through as an actor to execute.
That's very real.
When you are always in the public eye, it's like, do I believe that Sha'Carri should have dealt with certain consequences? Yeah, but give her grace.
grace.
Because you gave Michael Phelps grace.
I think they
But
should've
here's
let
my
her
thing
run,
is,
and that
They
was
gave
just
Michael
me.
Phelps
True,
grace.
but it's just
they
like
gave
I think they
the
should've let her run.
bicycling nigga grace.
But
You
fuck
know
that.
what
But
I'm
like,
saying?
how many?
Bicycling
Let's talk about
nigga.
CEOs to that point. How many CEOs do coke? Right, but are functional coke
Baby.
addicts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or people who
Oh,
you walk
right.
by on the street. No,
Hey.
it's a thing. Like,
Yeah, you're
that's been
right.
a thing for
I was
decades.
joking.
People who are functional coke addicts, like people who do coke just to get through the day because I don't got the energy or whatever to get through the day. So many of these execs who sit on these boards do coke. And they're functional.
Lines.
They're
And it's
functional as
known.
fuck. But that's what they do.
It's known. It's
So if
widely publicized. It's not even like we're putting out
That's
something
what I'm
that's
saying,
so
like-
secret. It's
Yeah.
known.
Y'all be doing this
on a
shit. So
wide
she can't
level
smoke
that-
weed?
Yeah, Wall
They
Street
do
is.
lines, baby.
Come on, man. She can't do a little weed, but y'all can do coke. Come on, man.
Lines.
Yeah, I mean, lines are
baby.
lines and get fucked up, like, and show up to work the next day. We can't do it. Black folk, we can't do that.
No.
We
Now,
don't be doing
now
that
the
shit.
Olympics got their rules, and it is what it is. But I just feel like, all right, she tested positive. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I think they should have let her run. But whatever.
No, I
You know
mean
what I'm saying?
it shows a lapse in the Olympic Committee, the International Olympic, because we're talking about the world. So there are other
Exactly.
parts of the earth that are like
Of the
no,
earth.
especially like in Asia, especially in those,
Especially in Asia.
like China, Japan, they don't play that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
weed is not as being looked at like it is in
But-
the U.S.
but-
in Europe. It's not looked at the same
But
way.
Jerome, it's not looked at in the same way, but then they buy into stock, the CBD stock. That's my problem for me.
And
They're
also
going to
a
buy
com-
into
there's a
stock,
communist-
but
there's a
now
communist government there
it's
as
a
well.
communist government. But then they come at Shikari, but they don't come at the kick push women that do it. That bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. I get it.
We got to move on from this. We out of
You gotta move
time.
on.
I'm
Y'all gonna
sad.
get my
I'm
edges
sad.
thin out, and I don't like
Listen,
that.
This is good. Thank y'all
My
for
edges.
tapping in on that. My edges.
I still got a lot of them. I just want to let y'all know
Janelle,
if you're not watching on YouTube, I have a lot of
yo,
edges.
Janelle, you got
You do. You got a healthy dose of
She has
edges.
healthy everything.
And these bundles is given. Healthy.
I'm outside. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
If you
I
want to
can't.
follow me,
I can't
it's
say
at
none of this.
Nicole. Yes, you can. It's okay.
Hey,
I won't look at you like that.
I'm still
I'll
a man,
throw
so
up, but it's
still
all
a
right. You
justification.
can.
It's still a justification.
Told us that she has healthy
She
everything.
has healthy everything.
Well, speaking of Janane's titties, no, I'm just playing.
what?
Wow.
No, seriously. Last time we gathered,
This
you know.
episode is funny.
No, I love it. I'm here for it. Last time we were together, we got into a conversation about dating as a
Child.
millennial.
Oh, we getting to the shits.
We're getting to the shits now. Okay? Now,
Let me sit up.
Thank you for being my air horn this
You're
episode.
welcome.
We all agreed that this conversation deserved a part 2. And now that we do have a fresh perspective at the table in JANAN, I do want to revisit the conversation. Okay, now. Ultimately, last time I feel like me and Deloria got into a little bit, it almost got heated, I guess, but of a little bit of a conversation where I ended up monopolizing the conversation. So I definitely want to hear from you, JANAN. I want to hear from the guys. Now, I don't know if you heard the last episode, JANAN, but we did end up sharing our sexual identity orientation.
Can we include pronouns in it? 'Cause I think
Absolutely.
that's respectful.
We did this already. The listeners
Okay.
heard ours. So we're going to allow you the opportunity to share that, plus your relationship status. And then I want to hear from everybody about how dating, if that's what you're doing, is going for you so far. So, JANAN, kick us off. Sexual orientation and relationship status.
So boom.
It's the ISO
Yo.
boom every time.
Second
for me.
time. Boom.
I am.
so boom.
I identify as queer. I don't identify as bisexual because I don't think that's my experience. I just say queer and that's it and that's all.
Yeah. Same thing for me.
I identify as she, them pronouns. You can call me either. I'm a real nigga at the end of the day. That's why I don't go into all of that. But
Period.
when it comes,
I'm a real nigga at the end of the day.
But
Nigga at the end of the day.
I am technically. I identify as she, them pronouns. You can call me either. I'm a real nigga at the end of the day. That's why.
Rise in our lives, but you gotta be smart about it.
The fact that we all ended at the same point because we forgot all the lyrics.
Shout out to
I know that
8701
song.
being 20 years anniversary today.
yeah.
So hold on, Usher, 20,
shout out
the
Usher.
20th anniversary
I-
today of
so-
8701.
So I'm
shout
in-
out to Usher for that.
So I'm going to do a real quick plug. Theater and X, I'm in West Philly meeting.
Hey.
August 15th, 22nd, and 29th.
Hey.
And one of my castmates, with a bomb, when one of my
I was
there
waiting
you
for the.
go.
All right,
I
go,
like
go, go,
that.
go.
I like that. I love you. One of my castmates just went to the concert and she said that
I'm
Usher
so
was
jealous.
crazy.
I'm jealous. I want.
How
I
much
am
she
too.
paid for them
Let's go
tickets?
together. She said
No.
not that much.
No,
She said not that
She
much.
was in the nosebleeds. I'm sorry, I love her.
Wow.
She
No,
had to
she
be.
wasn't. She
Baby, I've
was
been
not.
stalking the
Hey,
tickets.
yo.
Really?
Hey,
I've been
yo.
stalking them.
Really?
The
She said she
cheapest-
wasn't. Niggas be lying. But at the end of the day,
Because
I can't afford them right
I'm
now.
telling
I
you.
cannot.
I
Usher
We can
can't.
be in the nosebleeds together and sneak in the bottom.
I'm not
That's
doing a
right.
Lovers and
nosebleed.
friends.
I'm not a
nosebleed.
nosebleed type of bitch.
Not in my.
I can afford the lower seats.
It's not
I
giving
can too.
nosebleed.
Who got
But
a
one
VIP
thing I
pass?
will say, I am.
Usher's birthday.
Go sit down.
What's your relationship status, sis? You say you supposed to be single, but what now? You in a situationship? Look, if y'all
It's not.
go to YouTube, see the smile.
All right.
Let's look.
Go to YouTube, see the smile.
All right. So one thing I will say, the justice system when it comes to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
Hey,
is
yo.
unjust.
What's
Hey, yo.
happening?
I'll just leave it at that.
Where did we just go? This escalated quickly. Where did we just
Somebody
go?
locked
How did we get there?
Don't
Is he-
let me
he locked
out. She got an Akon on her
locked up,
hands.
sis?
What's going on,
Whoa.
sis? The fuck? She a pen pal?
That
What's
did
going
it.
on?
Motherfucker.
You a pen pal?
I am not a pen pal.
Yo,
I don't do the pen pal shit.
Wait a minute.
But
So you don't
That's
like this nigga?
hilarious.
So you got nigga? You gotta speak quicker for us. Like you got
nigga
nigga
in
that's locked
prison?
up.
he
What's
locked
up?
up. Yeah.
up.
Wow. So
Alright.
you are. I
She's
mean,
a
like you be
pen pal.
right.
I'm not a pen pal. I've known him for a very long time.
giving
Okay.
pen-
Wait,
it's
what's
giving
his
pen-
probation officer's name?
I don't know
He
yet.
don't
So
got
it's-
no program
Right.
yet. He's
You're not a
still
pen
in
pal,
But
but
I'm
you
not
just
a
living
pen
like
pal.
a pen pal-ish kind of life, basically.
Not really, kind of. I don't know. Whatever.
Cool,
but I
don't worry
will
about
say
it.
that he did not do it, and that things are being done
innocent.
Right out for him.
to period. That's my nigga at the end of the day. Not like my nigga,
So
but
that's
like
your
my
man.
friend.
So like
no,
you
no. I'm
Janine, you
single.
confusing me right now. Are you
single.
committed
I'm
to this
outside.
motherfucker?
She
or
holding them
not?
down.
I'm outside.
She holding
I'm
them
just
down.
holding
But I know he
them
didn't
down.
do it. That's
You
all it is.
outside, you know he innocent, and is that your nigga? Or
She
not?
said,
my friend.
that's my
The
friend.
smile,
This
the
is a
smile
clip.
though.
He's
No,
gonna
no,
hear it.
I respect it. She said, that's my friend.
Nah,
That's
get
my
into
nigga.
that
You
smile
was
my
though.
dog. That's my like. We grew up together.
So then
it's a
why
different
we talking about
situation.
him? Because we talking
Because
about
he
dating
period.
and
They show
relationships.
But
up,
out
though.
It's
here,
the smile though. It's the smile though.
Ain't
out
gonna
here,
lie,
I'm not
he did.
dating anybody. I chose to be abstinent,
She doing what Cardi did.
Abstinent.
Cardi did that on Love and Hip Hop, where she said, "Well,
Abstinence?
yeah,
And then
no,
she married
no,
Offset,
no,
so-
no. She was talking about, well, somebody's in jail right
Yeah.
now, but
Tommy was his name, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
it was
So-
Tommy.
Yeah.
It was.
So you holding them down. Ain't nothing wrong with that, sis. So that's why your ass is abstinent. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because he's
I
on
respect
lockdown.
it. I respect it.
Got the
And-
clink clink.
All right. Queer. So just for the recap, for the listeners.
For the listeners, we're going to run this
It's
back for you.
identifying as queer
Yes.
with the pronouns she, them,
Yes.
they,
Yes.
she, her, them, they.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I'm there.
there.
And
She's single,
and
kinda.
she's kind of single because the situationship
Kinda
is
single.
locked up. All right.
But don't cross it because he got connects on the outside.
And he's innocent. God
But
damn
he's
it.
innocent.
He's innocent according to Janan.
Nah,
So
according to the
thank you
law.
for sharing.
Oh,
Did
where's
you
the
just...
liquor?
Thank
okay.
you for sharing.
Thank you, sharing.
So you're not
Shot.
dating at all.
I'm not saying I'm not dating, but I'm not really paying people attention because they're not consistent. We'll get there soon.
Okay.
She want a shot.
She
It's the
wants
ambiguity.
alcohol.
It's the ambiguity for me.
I ain't mad. We got Janan
That's
over
right.
here
Come on,
fucked
media
up.
training.
Listen, if you come to the JANEE Latrice podcast, please know that alcohol abounds. Okay, it's happy hour.
Just like the titties.
Whoa!
Look, she pouring it. Give a shot to the
I'm
table.
so
Anyway,
glad we have video here today.
Wow.
Jerome Holden.
What's up?
Last time we had this conversation, we did not get to really hear from you guys regarding your experiences on the dating scene, if
Yeah.
that's the scene you're on. So, as the men of the show, let us know what's good out there. What's your dating experience?
oh, I'm getting the
given?
pet. Okay, so
Holden said, "Please," because I'm fucking exhausted.
Here's what it is. Here's what I've seen. And I am Jerome Scott. I am identify as he, his.
We already know, baby.
Him.
He said, let me state my
Nigga.
point.
So let me just nigga.
Say a
Clear
Let me-
again.
Damn sure
Let me,
identifies nigga. He like, let me just reiterate.
No, but here's what I've seen. I think men and women, because a lot of times we assess fault to which
Yeah.
side is responsible
I hate
for
that
the
we agree.
problems, and I think both are. I think both are at fault.
Come on.
I agree
come
with
on.
you.
And I think there are too many men asking, especially in this time period, there are too many men asking, what do you bring to the table? And there are too many women not accepting accountability. So we are looking at two different sides of the spectrum. So there are men saying, well, what do you bring to the table? What it is that you want to do?
Shit.
What
Why is that a problem? That's only a problem for some bitches.
No,
It's not a problem for me.
No, when you step to the table.
Ask me what I bring to the table.
When you
before I
step
can
to
run
the
it
table,
down.
but when you step to the table and say, what do you bring to the table? You're taking all the ownership off yourself and saying, what do you
Come on.
What do you do?
Come on.
Same thing goes on the other side. Where it's like a lack of accountability. It's well, it's all on you. What do you do? And I what it is that nobody is saying, let me work on me.
Come on.
Let me identify any issues that I have.
like you today.
That's not your experience.
Yeah, that's why I said
that is
quietly.
a general look from the outside, because I do work on me.
Yeah.
Come on. I
I just said at the beginning, at the top of this episode, I went on dates with me to work on me, to look at where I'm at, where my head is at. Right? So that may not be my specific experience, but what I've seen, and I'm talking about men and women at large, there is a lack of accountability on anybody. Nobody is taking personal responsibility for what they've been doing. Nobody's taking personal responsibility, and I'm saying nobody in a general sense.
Yeah.
Nobody is taking responsibility for what I have done that has attributed to my issues in my relationships. For example, you'll run into people who say things like, well, my biggest flaw in a relationship is that I love too much. That is not a flaw. That is not a flaw. That is removing responsibility from yourself. Because saying you love too much is saying love is a bad thing. Love is not a bad thing. Love is a beautiful thing. Loving people is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful experience. But saying you love too much, what does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything. You're just throwing that out there. You're saying that other person wasn't able to receive all that you're able to give. Therefore, they're responsible for not receiving all the love that I had to give. But we're not looking at what I did in that relationship that make that thing go awry.
I respect this perspective.
So to me,
don't get it fucked up.
No.
There are some of us. I just want to chime in real quick, and then I do want you to finish. There are some people out here who are doing hella self work though. So this is mad
it's general. It's general. Please take it as general.
From your experience, which I respect. I respect that. I'm not taking that away from you. But shout out to the people who invest heavily in self work.
Shout out to those who are doing it, because it's a minority.
It is.
And yeah, that's fine too. But I would agree with you. It is a minority, and that's very clear.
Yeah.
This is your experience as a single man dating.
That is my experience as a single man dating in a heterosexual situation. What I'm interested in is knowing it. Does that apply?
Hold him rolling his eyes.
Oh Lord!
Don't back up from the mic now.
Lord have mercy.
Get close to the mic again.
Get
closer.
In your experience, has that
You on my nerves.
Has that applied to you in your dating experiences, or what have you?
He's not the
experienced?
only person at the table that identifies within the spectrum.
You just
of queer.
gave the guys.
I did. You're right. You're right.
At the first,
100%.
Male identifying male presenting person.
100% right.
Come on.
As a male identifying male presenting person.
Let's go.
Who happens to be queer.
Oh, my baby.
Bless us.
That was a deep sigh.
Feel that?
Lord,
Into
go to
the
YouTube,
nose,
y'all. Y'all
out
gotta
through the mouth.
This is a YouTube episode. Y'all gotta go to YouTube.
that was in
Y'all have to.
that
Y'all
was
can
in
see
the
my
nose
baby.
to reach the brain, and the process
And out through the
out through the
My
mouth.
baby is tired. Y'all
From
stop
the
wearing my fucking
diaphragm.
best friend out. You goddamn niggas. All right.
Oh my God!
I
There
know,
are
baby.
some who
Niggas
are
are
listening right
exhausted.
now. There are some who are listening right now. No disrespect.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I know.
Y'all be all right. If y'all
Shout out to
not
y'all
all right, y'all can
exhausting
pull up.
asses.
Y'all can fight me.
Ayo.
They exhausted.
I got
They
you.
can be
Ho.
exhausted
I
and
got you,
cool at the
Ho.
same time.
Austin.
Why you gotta say his name?
Oh
Because
shit!
I said he's listening.
What?
Shit.
And
I shouted that nigga
I
out.
wasn't gonna say.
He's one of the ones I was
gonna
dating.
say his name.
And I,
was one
Wow.
I was rooting for him.
I thought I was
I'm just making it
outside.
clear because-
I thought it was me. It was
Wait,
mine.
let my best friend talk. I was rooting for him.
Listen,
I
best
was
friend.
rooting
That's
for him.
my-
I
that's
like
Janae's
him.
best friend.
I just want you to know, since he already said your name, Austin, I was rooting for you the whole time.
this is America.
What?
I'm a business. I gotta mitigate damage.
Lord,
You know what I mean?
have mercy.
I gotta mitigate
Still
damage.
rooting for you,
this
Austin.
shot.
Get back in there. Don't give up. Anyway.
Austin, you're great. You know what I mean? Black power.
I can't do this with you all at all today.
But no, like it's
fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, it's just it's so much.
Put some language around it.
Because you were around for
Absolutely.
many years for
Yes.
some shit that went down.
Yes.
And
I've
it's
been
just
around
like
for many of the
You've been
years.
around for many years now, and you see some of the shit that goes down. So to that point, the folks who actually do the work, the folks who actually do the work is like it's so far and few between, which makes it so frustrating because it's not to say that you've arrived and I'm perfect or whatever,
Right.
but I'm working on me, and while I'm working on me, I need you to be working on you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's what that was.
That's
I
what
need you to
Jerome
be
was
working on
saying.
you, and it's just like we meet in the middle, and I'll meet you in the places where you're great at and where you lack at. You meet me in the places where I'm great at and where I lack at. And I see, you keeping the buck, you keeping the bean. This is where you at. Cool. We can rock from there.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who put demands out. There's a lot of guys who put demands out,
Baby.
and they just not coming to the
Give
table.
me an example of a demand.
Example and.
I want you to be my all and all.
Baby.
Pause.
Yeah.
What?
It's not a what.
No.
Niggas say that shit every day.
Why?
Legit. So here's
Niggas say that shit
here's my
every
thing.
day.
So Jerome, here's my thing, right?
Fucking day.
Here's my
Because they
thing.
need something.
Here's my thing.
An
Here's
all
my
in
thing.
all.
Here's my thing, right?
I know you can't be my all in all, baby.
But here's my thing. That's a point, right? So here's my thing, right? Because as a queer person, that doesn't mean for people who have only been steeped in heterosexuality.
Yeah.
People who are queer do not necessarily identify with the opposite gender and assume that everything they experience, we experience too, or we should experience too. So in me saying that, I'm not saying that when women speak about shit with men, that I'm just co-signing and it's we got our own perspective with shit. But what I'm saying is that I can relate to when women talk about how guys show up and a woman has to be the counselor, the therapist, the
cook,
provider, the
maid,
cook,
the porn star.
the porn star.
Porn star, the mother.
The porn star, the mother, the father, the lover, the the planner, the this, the this, the this, the this, the encourager, the pusher, the supporter, the accounter, the this. Like it's just like, bro, what the fuck? Like what?
Ma'am.
Cold and tired.
I paid my dues.
look at the-
This is a phrase that I shared with Janae.
Yeah.
This is a phrase I shared with Janae. I paid my dues. I paid my dues.
Come on.
And what that means at 33, turning 34 this year,
Yo.
Hey, yo, get
listen,
the fuck out.
that's-
You're not
you know
welcome
what?
back
You know
ever
what?
again.
That's a badge of
Leave.
pride.
No.
Leave.
That's a badge of pride.
And you know what? I accept it.
That's a badge of
Leave.
pride. Because ask a kid on the street.
I'm wise.
Ask a kid on the street when I got my mask on how old I am. They gonna
Yeah.
say in my 20s.
Exactly.
He said
Right,
the
18.
skincare regimen is one of
His
You know what I mean?
skincare-
Let me
can
put
we
my
shout out
mask
Holden
on. My
skincare
mask
regimen?
on. Let me put my mask on. They
His
gonna say I'm
face is
20.
immaculate.
I'm
I'm
20.
fucking, he said I'm pretty, bitch. It don't matter how
And
old
I'm
I am.
skinny. No
Told you.
fat shaming here, but
About
I'm
to say.
skinny. No fat shame.
I
but I'm
Can't deal with
skinny.
y'all.
I'm tired of you.
Cause us young bucks, we be twigs.
Us
Listen,
young
let me tell you something. I told you I dated
Young
myself
men, we
last
be
night. Was
twigs.
walking around and
Us
watching
young
all these little young
twigs,
hoes.
man.
Hey, baby,
We twigs.
keep walking.
You say hey, baby.
I'm not interested. I'm with me tonight.
Hey, I sound like creeps. Hey, baby.
No, but no, like
I'm with me
legit,
tonight.
like no legit.
I'm with me tonight.
On the
I'm
queer,
using that.
on the queer male perspective, like a lot of that is similar, where people put a lot of demands out for what they want, but what they actually show up with is not even close to the same.
Especially for you.
And I don't need it.
You're
I don't
rare.
need it because I do my own work.
Ha!
But what you're coming to the table with is you become a chore, you become a task, you
on.
become a project,
Come on.
and not a partner. So I find myself helping you navigate your shit, right? And that's cool if I'm an associate, I'm a friend. But if we're dating, when I need to unpack, you don't even have the skill set to help me navigate my shit
Or
because
the
you
capacity to understand that.
because you don't even know how to navigate your own shit.
baby.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and for me, that's my experience. It's just like it's easier for me to fall into a role of let me help you navigate this shit. Let me give you some tools and practices. Let me give you space to listen to you. Active listening is a skill that a lot of people don't have because people assume that when somebody talks about their problems, I need to jump in with a solution or talk about how I can relate to it.
This is good. I hope y'all listening
is a
at home.
Active listening is I'm hearing what you're saying. I can be silent and I can ask questions that have nothing to do with my experience. I'm asking you questions that help you unpack that thing.
Yes, you taught me that,
Versus,
friend. You
versus
taught me
like,
that.
hey, let me jump in with a solution, which as guys, a lot of us are solution oriented. But it's just learn how to give somebody fucking space to just speak. Because sometimes a lot of people know the answer to the question or the answer to their problem. They just need to get the shit off their chest. Even if they don't present that immediately. A lot of people know, adults, man or woman or whatever, you know the answer to your solution. Or to your problem, whatever. You know the solution to it. You just want to get shit off your chest because you know you're going to figure that shit out or you got it already. Right. But people don't know how to actively listen. Like, let me give you space to talk. Let me ask you questions to help you unpack that thing, to talk through it, and give you space to, my feelings about it I can get out.
Yeah.
My feelings about, you can't help me with that.
Do you feel like you have to do that? Ladies too. Like, do you feel like you have to do that?
Pose a full question for me.
Like as far as being the therapist, like that, because there's something he's saying as far as helping you.
Well, I'm gonna
unpack.
say this: when it comes to relationships and dating, there's a certain level of investment that you agree to make by connecting with someone and saying this, we're gonna work towards something. And so when you go through all the filters and agree to connect with the person on a certain level, and you realize that they're in need of something. You know what I'm saying? It innately comes up that you would have the wherewithal or you have the desire to pull up in that way. So it's not necessarily that I feel like I have to do it.
Right.
No, I can always walk away. I always have the option of leaving. But at the end of the day, it's like, I want you to be your best self so we can be our best selves. When it starts to happen at my expense and I'm exhausted and I'm drained, that's when I know I gotta go. But if I can, show up as a therapist in proxy in between your actual therapy sessions because
Requirement. Hello.
that part.
That's what I was trying to get at. Like, at what point does real therapy?
I'm
But from the
gonna chime in
beginning,
after
from the
Janae.
beginning, I don't need to know shit about
Yeah,
you. If you
it's-
don't have a therapist, you need to get
You
one.
need to
and
get
do it
one.
for
Yeah,
us.
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's a good one. But
That's what I'm
So,
trying to get to.
Janae don't play that shit.
I don't.
So one thing about
Get a therapist,
One thing
period.
about me, I've identified my role in a lot of people's lives, not just romantic, but platonic, familial as well. I am the therapist for a lot of people. And one thing that I've realized is that I've created the relationship where I'm the rock for everyone, but nobody returns that energy in.
I'm glad that you
sound-
use the
And-
language I've created.
I have created. I can't blame anybody else. One thing that I do, I take
Very good.
accountability
Hold
for a
in.
lot of
That
the
part.
stuff that I've created in my life.
Absolutely.
I've created that I'm the rock and they can't reciprocate that energy in return.
Yeah.
So because of that,
We do that.
I check that a lot. I don't mind being a therapist. I am a healer at the end of the day. We are
Period.
artists. We crucify ourselves a lot.
You gotta know
But
what
now
you
I
do.
choose to live. And because I choose to live, that means that I choose to live in every other area of my life as well. So because of that, I do require the same thing as Janae. Therapy. If you're thinking about it, cool, let's talk about it. I'll send you to a resource, but I have to create that boundary where it's like, hey, I am one bird less than flying over the cuckoo's nest, and I can't do that anymore.
I don't even take it serious. It's not a therapy.
Because
At
at the
this point,
same,
I don't.
like one thing about me,
Sorry.
I've had to hold my, and I was talking about this before y'all got here. I've had to realize when I was the problem when it comes to dating.
Very good.
I
good.
am the problem, not because I did shit. Now I did a whole lot of goofy shit in my life.
Talk
you
about
go
it.
We all
low, we
have.
go to hell.
We all have.
I am with all the goofy shit, but at the same time, I've had to identify what I've allowed.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, oh my God, his potential, her potential. I love them so much.
Baby!
Off of my own
do
instant
shit with
gratification.
potential.
I can say
Can't do
that
a
at this point
goddamn
in my
thing with
life.
potential. I'm
I
getting
can
fired
say
up.
that at this point in my life. Now it's like who you are now.
Right.
That can help me love myself.
What are you showing
better.
me
What are you
today?
showing me? Like I'm transparent, but I also have an issue with vulnerability. I can be vulnerable on stage and behind the camera, but I can't do it in my real life.
I that is an issue.
have an
that
issue.
I
I have a serious issue with that because one thing that I did as an artist when I first decided to become an actor when I was a child, it's because people did not accept my vulnerability.
Yeah.
And now that
Come on
I
now.
can accept my own
Come on,
vulnerability,
talk for me.
now
Come
that
on.
I can,
Come on,
it's
talk
just
for
like
me.
I can't do this to myself anymore.
You're right.
Because I am killing myself. I am crucified. And we talked about this a long time ago.
A long time
we
ago.
crucified ourselves for the betterment of other
That
people.
specific language.
That specific language. Now we cannot do that anymore. So now because we are attracting better and we are doing better as a queer identifying woman or somebody that's a queer identifying person, I have to check myself and also teach people how to treat me.
Absolutely. Very, very.
And
It's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to say like I see a lot because yes, I am a pastor's daughter, but at the same
Are you?
time,
I never knew.
PK, come on,
You
PK.
are? I'm a
I never knew that. That's why y'all identify.
That's why they
That's
hate each
why.
other.
That's why we
Kindred
here.
spirits. It's the kindred
Me
spirits.
and Jamone are like here for a reason. I'm a PK, a prophet's daughter, but at the same
My
time,
God.
I have to separate the experience and understand I'm still human, and understand I still have sins, and understand I still
That
fall.
part.
Yeah.
And because of that, I have to navigate through that. I still, even my soulmate, I have to teach them how to treat me.
Everybody.
Because I've had an issue with boundaries in the past.
This is good
Because I've
shit.
had an issue with boundaries in the past, I have to treat and teach somebody how to treat me.
Yeah, I appreciate
because
that.
I did not know how to do that for myself.
I
Wrong
think
with
often we demonize the people that we're like, I have to teach them how to treat me, so I'll demonize them in the process.
But if we demonize
So-
them, we still chose them.
We
at
chose,
the
yeah,
end
we
of
still
the
chose
day.
it.
So what does that say about us?
Us. So the truth of the matter is, like, we have to relax. We kind of have to relax.
Yep.
We like as I think generally speaking, we have to relax on other people and on ourselves.
Come on.
We can't be so hard on other people and so hard on ourselves at the same time. Because I think we beat ourselves up in when it comes to this relationship thing quite often. It's like I ain't get it right, so therefore I'm wrong. I have this, or they ain't get it right, so they're this. It's maybe that's just not a good fit. So
Yes.
let's move forward.
Yes.
Like
yes,
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yes.
on.
Yeah.
That part that's the thing. That's the thing. Yes, and I don't believe in saying no. Right. I believe yes and because I wholly believe
Come
that.
on, acting
That's
language.
something. But no, but that's not just
Improv.
acting. That's also mental health. Mental health
Absolutely.
is also
Yes,
mental
it
health
is.
is always yes and right.
Yes.
Not but because everybody's experience is different. But I understand that perspective. But also when you recognize that you show up to the table in a different place, not perfect, but when you show up to the table in a different place, and somebody is not where you are in their own way, even in their own way, not even your way, but in their own way, they're just not further along in their way. There's a conversation that needs to be had for folks, for me, about, hey, hold on. How do you make space for either call it quits or how do you make space for somebody
Yeah.
who, because I'm experiencing that currently, where I believe for me, soulmate is more than just a romantic thing. I believe friends can be. I believe I'm sitting across from my soulmate.
Yes.
I believe
Friend
soulmates
soulmates. They're
exist
real.
in very many different iterations.
Absolutely.
So there's a soulmate of mine right now who just does not have the capacity. Just does not have the capacity. And for me, instead of demonizing this person,
We saying his name too? No, I'm just playing.
No. we gotta go there. We already said one. I got you. No,
I'm
we ain't
sorry,
doing
best
that.
friend. I'm sorry, best
See him
friend.
scratch his head.
I knew we wasn't saying that motherfucker's name, but I
He
just.
said,
I'm sorry. Look, he go. Look at the camera. Go ahead. I'm sorry, best friend. Continue. I apologize.
Jesus Christ.
Cause you know I'm ready to say that motherfucker's name on air.
I had too much to drink. Y'all gonna
It's
Go
levels.
ahead.
It's
Go
levels.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
levels.
Go ahead now before I say that shit.
It's levels to who's watching this and listening.
Yeah, we know. Shout out to you. You fucking know who you is.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
Hold
I'm
it.
going to
Hold
bed.
it. He didn't have.
Jerome-
He doesn't have
Jerome
capacity.
said. Moving on.
him again. I'm tired of you. Okay.
Let's roll it back. Let's roll it back. Roll it back. Roll it back. Roll it back.
This
Roll
is
it
a
back.
fucking mess.
I'm sorry.
That's exactly what happy hour is, a fucking mess.
A
Okay,
mess.
every
Because
time.
that's where it gets.
Okay, so you're dealing
So anyway,
with
so
someone
my
who
point
does
is,
not
my
have
point
the
is this:
capacity.
one person, does not have capacity for a lot of things right now. Just straight up does not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a situation where I need to call it quits. In my view, I don't feel I need to call it quits. I feel like because of my connection to this person, let me see. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm not going to argue the point and create battles out of nowhere, or try to force a thing and make it fit into a box.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll fall back a little bit.
Okay.
And let me see let me give it some time. Let me give it a year, however long it takes. Let me give it some time because you're in the journey of figuring shit out. And seeing like that's where for me where I'm at. Oh God,
I have questions about this, and we have other things we gotta get to. But I want I have because you're my best friend, and we talk all the time about this situation, and I want to know because you're a Libra, and I know how you operate, and plus I just know you well. How do you, and for our listeners at home that may need to understand this, how do you find yourself invested on a love level with someone who you know does not have the capacity to show up for you in return, but you're still engaging, but then there's this line of, I'll fall back. What does that look like? Because I'm not good at navigating that shit.
I'm a Libra,
and I know I'm not alone.
I'm a Libra, and I'm an Enneagram too. So folks at home, look
who
that
know,
up.
if
With
you
a Libra,
know.
if you know what Enneagrams are, look up Enneagrams. There's 9 of them. Everybody's one of the 9. So find out what yours is. Take the test. It's free online. Find out what Enneagram you are. They're very accurate. They're very accurate. So for me, I'm a healed Enneagram 2. So a lot of the shit that applies to most Enneagram 2s I don't, or Libra applies to most of Libras don't to me because I've worked through a lot of shit. So I'm not indecisive. I'm not a lot of those things. I didn't work for myself because I don't like people telling me who I'm supposed to be. So for me, those things was like, I'm not indecisive. I know what I want. So let me be in that shit. But anyway, it's
how do you fucking do it, Brian?
It's hard.
Help us.
So for me, because Libras and Enneagrams too have a natural propensity to help others. That's just that's our nature. Our nature, we're diplomatic, we're helpers, we're supporters, we're lovers, we're great at aesthetics and all these other things. We're great at those things, right? On one of our downsides is we're not great at those tougher conversations that maybe some of the other earth, air, earth, water, fire signs are. Because some of y'all are quick to go to the tough conversation.
I know I am.
But as an air sign, and as an Enneagram 2, we are lovers of beauty and simplicity and harmony and stuff like that. But
you're such a hippie.
So I am. I'm also a Californian. I'm a Californian. But but no, it's incredibly hard. Some things rest within my skill set, so that bears a lot of the brunt of the work. But the emotional work, the toll it takes. But there's a lot of mental and emotional work that does go into supporting and being present for somebody who's just not there.
So basically, your response to this question that I posed to you would be, you assume the brunt of the.
I do. And there's no
healthy response.
There's no contest. That's
well, he explained. He did explain.
I'm a Libra and I'm an Enneagram 2. That's in our nature to do that. Even when it's unhealthy. Which when you look up Libra and Enneagrams, ENNEAGRAM, Enneagrams, right? Everybody has an Enneagram from 1 to 9.
I haven't done it either.
It's a free test.
As soon as we done.
I'm like a 3 or a 6. I know it's one.
And then the thing is, like when you find out what your number is, when you're healthy or unhealthy, you can move to a certain number. So for me, my unhealthy number is 8 because 8s are very spiteful and a lot of other things. Me, when I become closed off, honey, it's a wrap.
Right.
It's a wrap. I have no. It's not even love lost, honey. Sure. It's done.
Yeah.
But Enneagram 8s
are like me.
I'm good.
Honey.
Everybody has one. 3s goes to 6, and I think another number. Everybody has numbers they go to. But anyway, that's in my nature. Number 1, to do most of the work, or come into a situation ready to do a lot of work.
Is it comfortable for you?
It's common. It's easy to do, but there's a level of it's not easy. I mean, it's easy to do, but it's not. I don't like it.
Okay.
It's easy to do, but I don't like it. It's easy for me to, because we are diplomatic. We like harmony, keeping peace.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a healthy way, preserving status quo
Wow.
I got you.
So for some unhealed Libras or Enneagram 2s, there's a sense of I would rather keep the thing because of my connection to it than letting it go. Right. So there's that's the unhealthy way.
I identify
right?
with that.
You know what I mean? And so like there's a love, but that's a whole other story. That's a can of words. Everybody, please look up the test. It's free online. Everybody can take it. Find out what Enneagram you are.
Thank
find
you
out
for
what makes sense.
sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
'Cause I was gonna
Take it
look
with a grain
up.
of salt because you've done work in your own. Everybody has done work in their own life to where everything is not a hard and fast rule. So
Right.
don't when you read your results for your astrology or whatever, take it with a grain of salt because it's not a hard and fast rule for you specifically.
Right. And now
That's huge.
For me, I'm a Scorpio, so everything is dark.
What up, water?
Feisty, sexy, all the things. But you
Titties.
sexy
All
titties.
that
It's the tick old bitties
Every
for me.
Scorpio got
Wait, y'all,
titties.
I gotta
The
get into
bitties
these. We
for
running
me.
out of time, and I gotta get into these
are.
questions
Let's
before
get
we're
these
done.
questions.
Got to because we are getting the wrap up.
What?
Shout out to Zaya, our production assistant
I
for
love her.
today.
Hey, girl.
We
What
love
up,
you, love
Zaya?
you. Josh, we
Zaya.
still miss you. Listen,
Love you,
I want to
Josh.
get into these. So because we're talking about dating relationships, wow, this conversation was very ripe.
It was.
Yeah, I feel like we need a whole episode.
Part
dedicated
3.
to-
Oh, wait, we'll get
So
a
we should do
whole episode.
Enneagrams.
Yeah,
Everybody,
dating
everybody
episode.
find out their Enneagram.
It's about
me
We'll
back.
find out our Enneagram and then we'll
Enneagram
come back
and
and
we'll
do a
come back.
whole episode
I'm
dedicated
with
to
it.
dating.
I'm with
as
it.
millennials.
I'm with
I
it.
like
I'm with
that. I'll
that.
come back.
So I want to do.
Yeah.
I wanna-
Go ahead,
come back.
invite yourself, girl.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Janine says she Bob.
Invite all 3 of y'all.
No microphone. She's like, I'm gonna be back. Whether y'all want me or not, I'm coming back.
Did you say all 3 of us?
Chanel
I
will
said
be
all 3 of y'all.
I hate that
Listen, no, for real. I want us to treat these questions kind of like a lightning round.
Okay.
Just, answer them, give your little 2 cents real quick, and then we out of here. Number 1, name your top 3 dating/relationship pet peeves. Janan.
Man, my top 3 relationship pet peeves, not working to not understand me.
That's
not,
one.
Not being intentional
Ooh, that's 2. That's good.
and not listening to me. Not listening and not willing to get to know me is a slash thing.
Yeah, I like it. That's 3. Jerome.
Not listen. I have 2. Not listening to me and
Why do we grow up?
Not listening in terms of obeying or what you
no.
saying?
Not listening
I know
to
what you're saying.
I ain't
That
talking
was
about
coded
that.
I needed him to clarify.
Like, I don't need you to obey me. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this? You a dog?
Needed you to clarify for the listeners, beloved.
I need you not listening to me. They know what the fuck I mean.
He said that from
Shit.
the gooch. Y'all heard that.
Not listening. Not listening to me and investigating me.
Oh, baby. You must don't want to fuck with a black woman.
Sheesh. Listen,
Anyway, black
don't
women going to
investigate me.
We're going to
the background
investigate.
check.
Talk to
It
me.
doesn't matter.
Don't investigate.
What's your first and last name, middle, initial? Holden, what
References.
are your top 3 dating/relationship pet peeves?
God, mine, misrepresenting yourself. 2.
It's Sayada Boo.
Hey, come on.
2 is deciding who I am.
To buy my
Deciding
bow tie.
who you are.
Yeah, so
What do you mean?
I've sat across from people who would tell me, you must be one of the type of people who do this. People do that
Tying
with me.
my bow tie.
Because I'm an introvert. I'm also
They
an
do.
introvert.
They do.
And I'm a Libra, and I'm an Enneagram 2. I'm quiet. I'm not an aggressive personality. So
Mm-hmm.
when people sit across from me, they, oh, you must be one of them type of people. That is a
hate
pet peeve
that.
for me.
Yeah.
I will silently just write you off. I'll smile in your face. Okay, it was good. I will see you
Okay,
again.
it was good.
I will never see you again. That has happened.
Yes, it has.
I don't got to argue with you. We ain't got to argue, but I will never see you again. The third one, we ain't got to fight if we ain't got to. Pick your battles, but
I'm so
The third one is-
tired
I'm thinking
of
this
you.
is fucking hilarious. Go
the
ahead.
third one is definitely.
He said definitely, but he wasn't really sure.
No, I'm very sure. I'm trying to word this in the right way. Feeling entitled.
Okay.
Come on, expound, because you took a while
Please
to
So,
pick
yeah.
the language.
I've gone on dates before where folks, you know me, I make my own money. I've been making my money for years.
Period.
Right. I went on a date with somebody. Who lives in New York, who lives in Philly, from New York. He thought that because he took me out, he insisted on taking the bill. Because me, you know me, when I go out, I grab for the bill first to see what it is. It don't matter who you are
Some
to me.
motherfuckers will let you grab
It don't matter who you are to me. I grab for the bill first,
Yeah.
right? I work hard for my money, so if I go out with you, I don't mind paying, even if it's half or full, whatever. It don't matter. If you come out, come prepared to pay for whatever.
Period.
That's just me. That's
Message.
That's
Shit.
just the way I
Come
how I
prepared to
carry
pay
myself.
for whatever. Did you hear the man?
That's how I carry myself.
Man.
So if you reach for it, just be prepared to do half. So this gentleman, he propositioned himself to pay the whole thing. He refused to give me the bill. The waitress went on his side. He thought that entitled him to some sex at the end of the night. I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
Fuck
He
that
said I
nigga.
took care of this.
Oh,
He said I took care of this.
I bought you a couple cocktails.
Yeah.
Now I want to cock suck.
It's
Whoa.
it's the entitlement.
Wait a minute.
thing.
Nah.
That shows they have no boundaries.
Man.
Now I hope you
Yeah.
protected yourself from that.
How expensive was the date?
My top 3 dating relationship pet peeves are men who don't plan dates well or
God.
at all.
At all.
You know what I mean? I need at some point some reservations gonna have to come into play. Like, I'm sorry, like, yes, we can go to Penn's Landing, yes, we can walk with a friend and all that, but you inviting yourself over to my house for Netflix and chill does not constitute as a date to me. Also, when we do get on the date, bad tippers. That I don't like that. I don't like when I'm on a date and a man is like, what the fuck, she ain't really even do nothing. That's corny. That's fucking deadbeat. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Put the bomb down.
Please tip well. No, I'm not doing it.
All right.
Please tip well. Also, and anybody who knows me knows it,
13
it goes without
cents.
saying, I don't like being out to eat with a person and they lick their fingers. No.
She really does.
That's a
She
real
yelled
thing.
at me
It's a
so
real
many
That's a real
times.
thing. That's not just a.
She has
That ain't
yelled
no
at me so
dating.
many
That ain't no
times.
dating pet
It's
peeve.
not.
That's just
Really
a
not.
pet peeve.
It's not.
No, but when you go out, when you
You
go out
just
to
said-
eat with a
that's your
motherfucker,
thing.
yeah.
That's your thing.
But it
Like-
translates into dating because we go out to eat with a motherfucker and they start licking their fingers. I had to tell them from the beginning, listen, if this
That
is going to
sauce
be a
be
problem,
good as fuck.
if
Like,
this is going to be a
You gotta
problem,
understand.
It's Corona
Okay.
going around.
Sometimes
It's the
a
sauce
Delta
or me.
variant
Sometimes
for
the
me.
buffalo
it's the
wings.
sauce or me. You make a choice.
You don't want to take a wet wipe?
It's the sauce or
she be
me.
yelling at me all the time after
It's the
rehearsal when
sauce
we go
or me.
out. Like,
It's the
Buffalo
sauce
wings be hitting.
or me.
I just got listen.
If it's going to be a problem, that's fine. I will swipe
she
right
moms,
on
she
the next
moms the
nigga.
fuck out of me. She's like, hold it, do not look. Shit, there's a wet name. Here, you need it. She
the
moms the fuck
sauce
out
or
of
me.
me every time.
I was
I
raised
love
by
it because I hate it.
I was
I mean-
raised by a military mother.
How good are the
She
buffalo
wasn't giving
wings?
that. Next question. Can you date or commit to someone who doesn't give head? Janine.
No. I am nasty as shit. I'd rather not do
You ain't
that.
even got to be nasty as shit to
No.
require
Tonight's
I'm
the
head.
night
nasty
to
as shit,
slide in
even.
them DMs, y'all.
Don't
Gobble
God.
You
me.
don't know now.
But it as
But if you want to
lady,
find out,
I am. If you fuck around and find out was a person.
Hey, yo.
As Lady Megan the Stallion said, gobble me, swallow me,
Drip
down
down
Wow.
the side of me.
Wow.
That is me. Leave me alone. I tell niggas this all the time. Go ahead. You leave me alone.
Jerome, can you date or commit to somebody who doesn't give head?
yes.
I was
You
about
lying,
to say,
shit.
no, he
I'm
probably
not lying
lying.
because I don't put a value. I don't put as high as a value on sex as other
Nigga,
people do.
so annoying.
I may annoy you, but and I know it because I've done it.
It's not
So
even
it's
a-
not even.
You actually had a girlfriend who didn't suck your dick?
yes.
What?
Jerome.
The fuck?
And loved
I'm mad
her.
at her for you.
And
loved her.
she never sucked your dick?
Never sucked my dick, and I loved her.
Ah! What are
Loved her.
y'all
Wasn't love. It's
doing?
fine. Like
Okay.
I just value to something.
That's not my
Listen.
ministry. Go ahead, Hody.
Okay. Listen. Thank you for
But
you hold it down for all the men
we
that
talked
don't
about
give a
that.
fuck.
We talked about that before. How I'm different than that. I understand those that don't.
Kev, can you commit to a woman who don't suck your dick? I'm
I
asking our
get it.
videographer
I
right now.
get it.
He
I
said,
get
fuck
it.
no.
Listen,
Mr. Mike,
All right,
I get why. I know I'm in the minority. Like,
You
goddamn.
are, bro.
Shout out to our videographer, Kev.
I
Hold it.
know I'm in the minority.
There are certain sensations that are better than some other sensations. But what I will say, what I will say, even if it's for foreplay, even if it's not for it to get it to a completion, play with it a little bit. You gotta do something. Like, even if it's not to completion, that's okay. Because some
Play
sensations,
with it a
some
little
sensations are
bit.
better than other sensations. But what I'm saying is,
That's funny.
that's the thing. Like, I don't need you to,
They get away from me.
you ain't gotta
Play
be
with
me.
it a little bit. Ooh.
You ain't gotta be me.
Are we talking about that old nickname, or are we leaving that to the street?
Baby.
We gonna leave it to
Yo, we leave it to the
That's-
streets.
that's
Leave it to the streets. I don't want to know.
What I'm
My
saying
best
is,
friend know
what
what
I'm
the
saying
fuck
is,
he
there's a
doing
Twitter.
out.
There's a Twitter.
My
there's a
best
Twitter.
friend know what the fuck
There's
he's
a
doing
Twitter.
out here. That's
There's
all
a
I'm
Twitter.
saying.
There's a
Now,
Twitter.
can I add a
Gobble
caveat?
me,
Now,
swallow
here's the
me.
thing. I do it.
What?
I'm gonna go down on her.
Why
You
does
damn
she
straight.
need you, though?
Just-
I like sucking dick.
I don't
Sorry.
need.
I don't, but
I
love it.
don't need it like that. I rather
you must
do
not
it.
have ever had like no bomb ass head.
I've had
Hello,
phenomenal
honey?
head. Please
I
don't
mean,
think
maybe
you
you
have.
maybe you haven't. I don't know. But for me, you gonna eat this twat. You gonna eat this pussy. You gonna let me ride your face.
I'm not.
If you
it's okay.
Get me pregnant. I'm all right with
if
it.
you
I have kids
don't
now.
eat my pussy, we
I'm
can't
good.
be together.
Ever.
It's giving that.
I don't put that value.
And if you're bad at it, I will go to the next person.
Because for me,
I'll
other
coach
things
you.
that
I
are
will coach you.
here's the
me.
thing
I'll
for
have the
me.
patience.
Coach you.
Here's the thing for me, but it really boils down to a lot of the times. I'm an orgasmic person, right? But
I
most
am too.
most of my orgasms come from the head.
Me-
From the rib.
we
So,
are-
like, you know what I'm saying? By the time you penetrate, I probably already done came 3-4 times.
4 or
probably, depending on you. And by the time you penetrate me, it's about you now, baby. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that
But if
ain't
you don't
me.
eat the bugs, I'm not really sure what we're doing here.
That's good as foreplay. Like what?
Why are
It's,
we here?
it's beyond good as foreplay for me. It's necessary.
Baby boy.
It's necessary.
Come on.
You have to eat me out. Next question. Do you believe in an open phone policy? Would you
we
go
going
through
into
your
the-
partner's
that's-
Who
Who we starting with?
You. We
No,
going. We
don't go through my
this
shit
is
because
where
you're
we
going to
at.
go through my group text and you're going to be mad as shit.
A
Like,
relationship.
no. It's bound. Like, I have boundaries. I will show you my phone before you go through my phone
Okay.
because I have that type of relationship.
Well, that's what
with
I mean. I feel like the question is posing: would you allow?
No, because I will show you anyway. So it's like, nah. If you go through my phone, you looking for something. If you look, you won't find. So nah.
Exactly.
Nah, I don't do that shit.
Interesting, Jerome.
No, don't touch my phone. Don't touch my phone. No, you can't see it.
Why do
because,
we agree on everything?
Hey, you know how it is.
PK.
You know how it is. The thing is, you can't touch my phone, and no, you can't look through it. And actually, that may be something that I may walk away from this relationship. Don't touch my phone.
Come on,
Don't go
boundaries.
through because if you
So if a
feel-
woman goes through your phone, you will dump her.
yes,
Potentially.
yes, because
Interesting.
if you're looking for something, I've never known anybody to look for something. And I've known women that have gone through phones. I've known guys that have had women who've gone through phones. They've gone through their phones and they found nothing, and they're still not happy. They're not
Yeah,
happy
for sure.
because they
I
have
agree
not
with that.
found
Speak
anything.
on it.
Yeah.
It has not
Very good
validated
point.
what they're looking for. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something, regardless if you find something or not, you're not going to be happy with what you find.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're going to give me the shit because you did not find anything or you found something that kind of looks like something, but it's nothing. And I
But
can
you're
explain
making it more because you are actively
You're
looking
actively
for something.
looking. Get out my
Because it's
phone.
getting-
You don't
it-
pay my bill.
No, but to piggyback, I hate the word piggyback, but to piggyback off what Jerome said, people
Wait,
that
hold
do
it, fall out
that
laughing.
are looking for
Get off my
something
phone.
to break up with you.
You're looking exactly. You're looking.
I don't.
If you're
okay.
looking for a reason
I
to
wanna
get
hear
rid
I
of
don't
me,
go through niggas' phones.
get rid of
I
me.
meet their mama.
So
Hold it.
So
Weigh in.
I feel one way about this, and it sounds conflicting.
Okay.
But I feel like this. The moment that I feel like I need to look through somebody's phone, for me that means photos, social media,
Yeah.
text,
Deleted photos.
everything, even the hidden
done
apps,
it.
because there's some apps that hide shit. Because I got
Come
it on
on.
my fucking phone.
Oh, I got a hit now.
I got shit on my phone. I don't
You
care.
would.
You can look at my
would.
phone. There's some shit you won't see unless you know my passcode for this app, right? Or these apps. But my thing is this. But my thing is this. If you go like we're like y'all have been saying, if you go looking for a problem, you will certainly find it.
Absolutely.
PJ Morton has a song dedicated to this, right?
Come
But
on.
also, if I have somebody's phone and somebody happens to text them, I might scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like out of curiosity, not because I'm looking for them, but out of curiosity, like, all right, let me
Thank
see
you
what the
for being
conversation is.
honest.
It
But
kills
it's
the
like,
cat, though.
No, that is honest.
no. What I'm saying
I
is, for me,
appreciate
it stops there. I'm not going to exit out of that convo and then start going through every conversation or go on social media. Let me look at your DMs. Who's DMing you? What's y'all conversation like? Are you on vanish mode with some folks and not in others?
Ooh.
I'm not doing it. Like, if I feel like I
wish
gotta
I
do
had
that,
your
I'm
strength.
out.
I
I'm
wish
out.
I did.
No, because this is what I tell niggas. I tell them this: if I feel like I gotta go through your phone, this is not for me, and I'm gonna bow out.
Absolutely. I agree
Before
with
we
that.
even get to
that,
that
I
point,
agree with it.
I
I'm
love
out.
you.
That I
I'm
agree
out.
with. I'll say this for me, like, and it speaks to piggybacking off of what you just said. I do believe in an open phone policy. However, it's not about going through the phone. Once you demonstrate those like, hey yo, stay away from my phone. This is my phone. Don't touch it. Don't. Now I want to know what's in there. What's going on? Before that, you know what I'm saying? I do. Right, I want to know. I want to know what the fuck you're hiding because why? But before that, like before any of that happens, sure, like I don't have. Like, you can have the passcode to my phone if we in a relationship. Why not? Like, what do you need? And if you know what I'm saying? If you want to go looking through the shit, you're not going to find nothing. Because this is how I move.
I'm going to talk shit, though.
If you want it, if you feel like there's a concern, let me tell you something. As your woman in a relationship, I'm going to first find out why you want it. I'm going to give it to you. But what did I do?
So
that challenge the security
my thing is
I'm here.
That's why I have secret S. Because for me, even though I'm single, I love naked bodies. It doesn't matter, man, woman.
Well, if you insist.
So just take it off. I love naked bodies. I love naked bodies. So for me, listen, for me, Keep Safe is an app. I don't mind. Before was a time.
What is it? What is it?
He just plugged
He got a bunch of naked bodies.
I'm plugging shit. We not supposed to do it.
Our production is
no. I barely.
You supposed to be posting, bitch.
Nah, but
say it for me one more time when this nigga get
one of the
home
apps is Keep Safe. Keep Safe. So
do we got naked motherfuckers on there or what?
Yes. So I have exes. I have random folks from Twitter, from whatever. Because my thing is this.
Is it naked men and women, or what is it giving?
Yes, it is. Because I love cunnilingus. I love seeing a guy eat or girl eat another girl out. I love oral sex overall. I love oral sex.
You know me too. I got to be honest.
No matter who's doing what to who, I don't care.
I love it.
Especially if you do it well and make it. So that's a whole other story. We can talk about that. Doing it good and making it look good. Because sometimes doing it good doesn't look good. But if you can do it good and make it look good,
come the fuck on.
Anyway, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is this.
Wait,
we got two more questions. We got to get to.
I know. I'm trying to wrap up. Y'all stopping me from talking. Goddamn.
Go ahead, best friend. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is this. If you're with me or talking to me, I have that shit in my phone. That's the same as with porn. Even if we're together, we're both probably still going to look at porn.
Yeah.
I don't need to see your search history. You know what I mean?
They falling out.
They falling out.
But
I don't need to see your search history,
if it makes him uncomfortable.
But because it's in my mind, I know like it's shit that you like to see. And just because you like to see it don't mean that I got to feel a kind of way about it. So somebody might hit you in your DMs and they might be attractive. You're not trying to meet up with them, but you give them a little play in the comment. I'm not necessarily going to be mad at that.
You are an advanced thinker.
I'm not going to.
on it right now.
So what I told my soulmate is that I require a different class of individual.
Period. And you are a different class of fucking.
I only give what I ask for. I only ask for what I give, right? And so my thing is this.
I love it.
If you're looking at porn,
I'm stealing that,
right? Because I know I look at porn. You look
so
at porn
do I.
too. So it's just like everybody does. So
on episode 4,
I don't need to see her search history. I don't got to see the links that are saved. I don't got to see none of that shit. Like handle your business. But as long as you're not doing X, Y, and Z, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
as
good.
long if you're not, as long as you are not cheating.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing that I would concern myself with.
Stuff gonna catch your eye.
I don't believe in blocking my phone all like that. I don't have a reason to. That's just me. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe in the whole you go and find what you're looking for if you go looking. I don't believe in that. And I also don't believe in just scrolling through my nigga's phone. Don't get it fucked up. Like I'm not giving, it's not giving that. I'm not giving your phone on any given moment so I can scroll through it. Because that speaks to a different level of insecurity. If I can't be with nobody I don't trust. I literally just can't do it. I have to be single. I cannot be with you if I don't trust you. I'm not going to be in a relationship where I got to be like, what bitch was you?
Point?
I'm
not being. What's the point?
Not giving
Did you go back to go forward though?
That's generally like.
What?
Women do that shit every day, babe, and I'm not that.
I'm not that woman at all.
It's not a y'all. Next question is the next question is what's an early red flag or dating deal breaker that would cause you to walk away sooner than later? I'm gonna switch the direction for these last two. An early red flag or dating deal breaker that would cause you to walk away sooner than later.
No sense of self-reflection.
Mine is so simple and stupid. Whew. Jerome.
Lack of self-accountability.
They all got the same shit, basically, yeah.
And mine is different. He want to marry me.
You got to speak into the mic.
Speaking to the mic, baby.
Thank you. I didn't know. I'm a little
Zara said that.
She was over here like, yeah, basically, because this nigga.
It was you.
I'm a little schmiz.
Go ahead. What is it?
He wants to marry me within the first month.
Jesus.
Yo, I had a nigga. I
But
just
see,
had a
I've
nigga
heard a
ask
lot
me.
about
of
like
men.
niggas doing
I just
that
had a
lately.
nigga ask me to be his lady.
We talked
Y'all
about
We
it.
knew
niggas
each
be
other for
wildin'.
2 days.
2 days.
That's
Literally.
2 days.
I wish
He
y'all
talked about
niggas
it.
would
He
chill.
talked about
Stop.
He was like, no, I really need you. I really need you in my life as my lady.
If a nigga
Relax.
asks me within the first 2 weeks that if he wants to be with me and I ain't give him the moose knuckle, he has to go away.
The moose knuckle.
Knuckle.
Shout out, yo. I won't shout her out.
One of your Twitter
Don't
followers.
you do it.
Shout out.
I know
I
what you're
forget.
about.
I seen it. I
No.
forget her name. But it say Moose Knuckle some shit. Shout out
Angela,
Moose.
that's-
Knuckle.
Yeah, her.
Yo, shout out to her. Yo.
My early red flag or dating deal breaker, and I'm sorry, unpopular opinion as it may be, too many damn kids. I love everybody. I love great fathers.
Hey,
Shout out to
hey,
great fathers
hey.
everywhere.
That's fair.
But
BDs, baby
I know what I
daddies.
want. I'm cool with the one, and I'm cool with possibly the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow
Okay,
that.
I was about to
yeah,
ask you
3 to
yeah,
5.
yeah. If you got two
Once you
to
get in the
3
I
was
baby
about to ask you your
days, I got a
boundary.
rule, fam.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
because I know somebody
Nope.
that has 4 kids
Nope.
and has twins, so
Nope.
it's all right, like me.
Nope.
You got one baby dad, but you got twins,
No.
so that don't
Exactly.
that don't count.
You different. I would wife you, Janine. It's different, but
Everyone would when they see them tiggled bitties.
These
we
niggas,
on YouTube.
these
What's
niggas
up,
was.
y'all?
Hello.
Listen, I know he not listening, but I went on a date recently. I'm gonna just say recently.
You said I know
Where-
he not listening.
No, no,
Watch
no.
this be the episode
Nah,
that he.
it ain't.
He
Trust
gonna be
me.
like, what Janae doing today?
Recently, I went on a date. I'm not gonna say when, but recently I went on a date. Motherfucker, I was like, so how many? You have children? Yeah, how
Crazy
many?
ass.
5 kids. God damn, check please.
5.
It's too many. It's too many for
5.
me.
5.
For me. That's
Damn.
a lot.
Was he not 40?
No. he
Jesus
wasn't
Christ.
40. 5 kids, 4 baby moms. Shout out
Wow.
to everybody.
Niggas
Shout out to
busy.
him for being a great dad. It's not for
Who?
me. The next
It ain't
question.
about being a great dad. Just put a condom on. God
the
damn
next
it.
question is, I'm not judging the man.
Vasectomy.
He holding it down for all his kids, so I'm not
Good,
judging
good
him.
job. That's
All
a
I'm
lot of
saying is,
kids, nigga.
It's not for me. The final question, and then we getting the fuck out of here because shout out to our loyal listeners for hanging in there with us.
What
I
up,
know,
y'all?
I know we ran over time. I know.
No,
I know.
this is good.
This is good. It was
This is
fantastic.
good. It's fun.
But we getting out of here. The last question is: if you had to give dating advice to a newly 30-something struggling to find love, what would you share? Come on, hold on.
Follow your intuition.
Jerome.
Stop taking people's advice.
Janan. Into the mic, please.
You date at the level of your mental health.
My God, today. Mine would be learn what you want and commit to that. Remember that you deserve love too. And I say that because, you know, a lot of times us givers will show up ready to love on somebody and show them how great we are at loving. But we forget ourselves.
Come on.
And get to know yourself. Learn
Come on.
the sound of your own voice. Listen, I'm about to raise a toast right now.
Oh,
we are out of time.
I'm scared.
No,
Damn.
I love y'all. This shit has been lit. Janine!
Janine.
Look, she's drinking shit.
If you on
We done
YouTube-
got Janine
We done
drunk.
got
Damn it.
Janine drunk as shit. If you come into the Janelle Latrice podcast, you got to know what the fuck
If you
is
follow
good.
You Don't Know Nan and you are in my DMs, this is the perfect time to do it.
Ah, she said it. She said it. She said it. She
Did.
said it.
He knew I was.
There's a limited amount of time. Fellas,
You
fellas,
said
fellas,
right
you better jump on it right
now.
now.
Minutes.
You know what's funny?
By the
fellas?
time this
By the
airs.
time this airs, you won't have a chance.
I'm like, ew, your dick probably small.
Don't say that to the man.
I say it to niggas all the time.
I ain't mad at it. Janine,
Oh.
I really, no, you've been a fucking blast.
I love
You gonna
this
come back and kick
experience.
it with
I
us?
am. Just let me know when, sis. I
Look, she
really
done
love
grabbed my hand.
this.
She for
I
real
did.
drunk.
I'm drunk
She
as
for
shit.
real.
It's giving real drunkenness.
It's real, giving real drunkenness.
Tell the
This
people
was
where
a-
they can find the Shenanigans podcast
You can
one more
find
time.
me at the Shenanigans podcast on what's that? Instagram.
Instagram.
And you can follow
Somewhere.
me at You Don't Know Nan. That is YOUDNTKNOW Nan, because I don't feel like spelling the rest of
It's
the shit.
D-N-T. There's no O in don't, just so y'all know.
DNT. It's not Bryson Tiller. This is Trina.
Did
so,
we get, did, did we get you fucked up?
you dead.
It's happy
Yeah,
hour.
Janine.
It's happy
It's what
hour.
it is.
We gotta go out after this.
Look,
Before I take my bing call at 7:45.
we
Yeah.
are
eat.
going. We
That's
going. We
cool.
going to eat. We going to
That's
eat.
cool.
Listen, I need y'all to get your glasses, and listeners at home, please put something in your glass right now. Y'all got something in your glasses? You got something in your glass? I know you tipsy already. You got something in your glass?
Yeah, sure.
Jerome, let me see your glass, because you be lying. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Jerome
All right,
a
listen.
heavyweight. I don't like it.
Oh, he's getting there. I feel like I'm doing some good training on my friend here.
You
'Cause-
did.
Good
No.
liver damage.
No,
Well, I'm all right.
it might actually be. It might actually be giving that. Nah, thank you so much, seriously, JANAN, for joining us today.
For
I
real.
really
I
appreciate
really
you
do.
for being here.
Shout out
Now,
JANAN.
can we please support, promote, and listen to the JANEE Latrice podcast, please?
Ooh.
They better be
No,
listening
like
to shit.
they already do, but sis, you're really doing what you're supposed to do, and
appreciate
I'm
you.
really proud of
Tell
you.
your mama, tell your daddy.
I appreciate
I'm really
you so
proud of
much.
you.
All right, here we go, y'all. Listen, a lot of things that y'all shared tonight, particularly you, Jerome, because I be hard to use sometimes, but a lot of things that y'all all shared tonight kind of challenged my way of already thinking. So, here's to leaving our comfort zones and living life with no regrets. Cheers, guys. I hope you guys
Cheers.
raised a
Salud.
glass with us at home. Shout out to Rec Philly, our new home and an overall hub for creators. If you are not
You know how to
hip,
do it.
make sure y'all connect with them at recphilly.com. Of course, shout out to the Shenanigans podcast. If you're not already following her on Instagram, make sure you do that. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following us on Instagram and Twitter, I'm not really sure what the fuck is going on, but you can find us at the JL Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And listen, this episode is being brought to you by Calivisions Productions on YouTube. Make sure y'all go to JANEE Latrice on YouTube. I love you guys so much. One of y'all got to say it with me because the
I got you. I got you. I was
Until
prepared.
next time, ladies and gentlemen, I holla.